Aloha and welcome back, everybody, to the second half of our coverage of the 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Race here on the beautiful Kona coast of the Big Island of Hawaii. I'm Kala'i Miller, joined here by Katie Stevens, and we are getting ready to start the second half of our day. The beginning of the day featured our women's cruise racing from Kailua Kona at the harbor there to Honau, the city of refuge, a roughly 18-mile course. And after a quick break to switch out crews and refresh, our men's and 40 mixed crews are getting ready to race back to Kailua Kona and the finish of today's events. What you're seeing in your screen right now, besides us, just before that was our jet skis kind of holding the line there, getting ready to make sure that all of our canoes are lined up just right so that we can have a nice, even, and fair start. But, man, the energy is in the air. It's a different kind of energy from this morning. But the men, Katie, they're here to compete.
They are here to compete, and there's probably close to 200 crews out there again today.
Wow.
With the men's, the 40s, and the open mix going together. Again, we've got the different canoe types. So we've got people going iron, people going 9-man, but they're all out there on the line, and everybody is trying to be that first canoe across the line.
Yeah, this really has shaped up to be the premier long-distance canoe race in Hawaii for 2023. I mean, of course, we have our races, along the Oahu coast and on the different islands. But with the recent cancellation of not only the Molokai Hoi, but the Navihini o Kekai, it's really opened the door for this 50th anniversary of this incredible race, the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Race, here in Kailua Kona, to be the premier race for 2023. And as we discussed earlier this morning, welcome back all of you that are coming back for this afternoon to join us for our ongoing coverage. But, man, Katie, I personally feel that if I'm coming from anywhere, whether it's the other side of this island or as far away as Singapore or Canada, this is the race that I want to come to.
Yeah, this has always been an international race, and like you just said, the cancellation of these other two races that were also a big draw for crews from the mainland and international crews. I think there's clubs that decided to come to this that maybe hadn't been before, or were going to go to the other race, but also the 50th anniversary being this year is such a big draw and a huge international crowd. I mean, we've got crews from New Zealand, Singapore, Australia, Tahiti, Canada, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, United Kingdom, and all over the United States. And it's just great to see all these people here enjoying this magnificent place.
And really, Katie, it's a special year for so many reasons. Again, this is the 50th anniversary, and we want to, on behalf of the race committee and Kaiopua Canoe Club, we want to extend a big mahalo to the county of Hawaii, who really stepped up and helped support this race on many levels, both monetarily and permits, all of that, just really helping pull off this race. And I think it was their ability to recognize how central culturally that this event is to our native Hawaiian water sports on a place like Kailua Kona, which is one of the meccas of water sports here in Hawaii.
It sure is. I mean, there's fishing and all kinds of other watercraft events here, but the paddling here is just incredible. Of course, a lot of people come to this race because the ocean conditions are a little bit more mellow, and so if they've been training on rivers and lakes, they're not going to come to here and find an extreme different kind of conditions. It's by no means flat out here. There's lots of little subtleties to this race course in the ocean, but people from most places can come here and find this to be a great venue and something that they can manage in terms of the ocean conditions.
Right. On the converse of that, a lot of our top-end local crews, they want a little more surf. They want a little more downwind type texture on the water. But they come to a race like this, and the better crews with those more experienced steerspersons will be able to find the texture on the water. And what we're seeing here is this afternoon, we're getting a little bit of a wind coming on. I think this could be a good race, Katie, and really a top crew in any type of water will excel.
They sure will. I mean, there's lots of, again, subtleties to this. There's a little bit of a southwest swell starting to build. I think it's going to build more into the week, but we can see some of that coming in into the bays, and so crews will kind of know how to negotiate or utilize that to help them. There's certainly a bit of water texture from the wind, and there's also going to be currents caused by tides and things like that, that local knowledge is going to be a great benefit to try to know better to go inside close to the coast, better to stay outside. So, and these crews are also, the better crews are able to sort of fine-tune what they're doing, quickly get into a groove of what kind of a stroke rate they want to carry, how much power they're putting into their stroke, and get that together right from the get-go so that they can, continue to build their whole speed and just move ahead.
Right, and what you're seeing now, again, is it's really it's that moment before the race starts. All these canoes are lining up. We're having the skis and the boats patrolling back and forth along that starting corridor, making sure all of these crews stay honest and stay behind the line. That's what you're seeing with the jet skis and all the whitewash going back and forth. This is pretty standard protocol right here for a lot of these long-distance canoe races. And as Katie mentioned, we have in the neighborhood of 200 canoes getting ready to start this race. Our race is going to begin in heats with our spec canoes, our 45-foot long, 400 traditional Hawaiian-style racing canoes, including koas, going first. And then a few minutes later, we're going to have the unlimited canoes and the 9-man crews starting after that. And if this morning was any indication, a lot of these top teams are switching over to these unlimited canoes. And, man, they are blitzkrieging that race course. They are flying down the coastline, and we're really looking forward to see these men turn it up.
Yeah, we've been watching these limited canoes because they've start 5 minutes behind the spec boats, trying to eat that gap up over the race course. And in past years, it seems like there's always been at least one, if not more, spec boat crews who have been able to stay out in front and be the first one across the line. But in the women's race this morning, we saw, I think, a couple unlimited canoes pass in front, and they were able to pass that front spec boat and make up that 5 minute gap.
I would think, Katie, arguably that's more feasible in the men's race. Now, obviously, the men are going to be a more powerful crew of 6 paddlers versus the women, and that 400, keeping that 400-pound canoe moving might be a little bit more in their game plan. A heavier canoe, it might have more inertia. Can gain more momentum as you're moving forward. And if you can keep on that momentum and keep propelling it forward, you have a good chance to hold off those unlimited canoes behind you. So we're looking forward to seeing that happen. Again, this is an 18-mile course from here in Honau, the city of refuge, just past Captain Cook Bay and Ke'e, here on the Kona coast, and going into Kailuakona, the harbor there. That's going to be their finish line. It's going to be an exciting finish, and we're going to be trying to cover as much of the race course and as many of these canoes as we can throughout. Again, we've brought our whole studio onto this power boat here, and we're broadcasting you from, a couple miles offshore. So please bear with us. We have a drone with us. We have 2 cameras on this boat and another boat with a camera on it. So this is a 4-camera shot from a center console boat offshore on the Big Island of Hawaii in the kind of the middle of nowhere. When you look back there's not a lot of population out here, and so we're trying to keep it real, bringing you the best, and continue to stay with us all afternoon, whether it's on our Ocean Paddler Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or at the Kaiopua, the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoes Races Facebook page. So stick with us. It'll be a couple of hours. It should be fun. You'll be a lot of talking. I'm already getting hoarse from this, and I've already started to change color. I went from a dark brown to darker brown, and by the end of this, I'll be black. And I got my Japanese extra large shirt on over here, so we're ready to go, Katie.
Yep, we're here in our mobile studio, and it's really great to be able to reporting live. We're looking at what's happening right here next to us and try to figure out who these crews are and who some of the crew members, so that you guys can see how your friends and family are doing out here. We're trying to, of course, cover the front of the race course and try to identify who's leading in the different divisions. But because they do a staggered start, there's always going to be a mix of different canoe types, the 9-person crews, the iron crews, crews, the unlimiteds, all woven in there. And so we'll try to figure out who some of the different division leaders are, but also move back and then just show you some of the other crews so that you guys looking in from all over the world can try to see some of your friends and family paddling. So give us a shout out on messages on the Facebook page and let us know where you guys are looking from and who you're looking for. Hopefully, if we see some of that when we're looking at your crew, we can shout to your crew and tell them who's watching from wherever you are. So it's always fun to know that people are supporting all of these crews from all over the world.
So we did a pretty good job on the women's race trying to predict what teams would be our top finishers. We talked about that crew from Kaihitu. Our local crew was able to stay on the outside for the beginning half of the race and dive in around KA and win handily in an unlimited boat, win overall. Also, that Kalahui Kai crew that you had talked about, they won the spec boat division. They were really strong. And the Aloha Unlimited ladies, that was a 40s crew that won their division and second place in the unlimited and third overall. So we're really let's see what we can predict off of this afternoon's race. Now, a couple of crews that I know Katie was very diligent in doing her homework on were Wailea Canoe Club from the island of Maui. These are a bunch of guys, some of them former Team Primo paddlers from the west side of the island of Maui. We have Kikoa steering them, some other guys, so they got a really strong team. We're also looking at some of the remnants of the former Team Red Bull here from the Big Island of Hawaii. They're going under
Keoho
Canoe Club. Yeah, under Keoho Canoe Club. Those guys are beasts in the water, and they were a crew that last time we were here, I think they took second.
Yeah,
overall.
That was quite a battle with those two up towards
and it was so neat
the finish.
To see the two totally different, maybe not so much styles, but stroke rates that the two crews were using. That was great. We also looking again for Nakoa Kona. That's is it 40s or 50s this year they're going?
Oh, yeah, 50 plus. Yep.
They were doing really good. They were up with the young boys last year. That's that kind of that Team Hulakai gang. They got people like Jerry Bess and Mike Andrade, Pat Vaughn, Bruce Ayao steering them.
June Balanga.
So they
Trey
got
Parker.
A solid crew of distinguished gentlemen in that crew there. Who else you got your eye on, Katie?
Well, I think there's some crews here from Lanikai. I don't know if they've put into the Unlimited or the Glass Division or if they've got some guys in both. I know they've got at least a 50s crew, the 60s crews that look really tough. They have some really experienced older guys who have been paddling together for a long time, and they are going to be tough. There's also the Kalahui Kai, of course,
Kalahui
crew.
Kai, yep.
I think that Team Oceania is here going under Team Oceania. So they actually were up towards
Mario
the front.
And his
yes,
gang.
those guys, they were up towards the front last year as well.
You got to watch out for them. Those guys are assassins.
Oh, they are. And there's also some crews here from Tahiti. And I don't know what clubs they're from or who they sent over, but you can just never count out the Tahitian men.
Man, hey, sometimes the just okay Tahitian guys are like tops everywhere else. Those guys are amazing. I also am looking for crews like Puna Canoe Club from here on the Hilo side. Puna had a great showing at States. Their women's crews are doing great. Their men's crews continue to pick up and do better all the time. I'm also looking for crews like from Haleiwa, Manuoke Kai, Haleiwa Oahu. Their program's been on the upswing as well. Their ladies, I think, were second or third place in the spec division earlier. Those guys are going to be doing great. They're probably using that same canoe in the spec division going back. Kaiopua always has a good showing for this side of the island. There's a lot of good crews out there today that can be surprising. But I when it comes to those first couple of top 2-3 crews, I think we'll kind of be keeping our eye on Wailea, Keoho, right, and Kalahui Kai, amongst others. So
and Team Oceania.
Yeah. And Team Oceania.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll kind of be keeping our eyes on it, and I will be really curious. I think, I'm sure there's some exceptions, but to my personal knowledge, there are very few steersmen more adept at this coastline than Bruce Ayala. And he's steering that 50s Hulukai gang.
Yeah.
And if anybody can make magic out here and understand what the water is doing out here, it's that guy. So I'll be queuing in real tight on where Bruce Ayala positions his boat.
Oh, yeah, he's going to make the most of the situation out here for sure.
Always does.
And I know if I was on an immense crew, I'd be watching where he's going.
All right, looks like behind us we just had the start of the race. Again, this is the meat of the paddlers that are out here today. There's a majority of them in the spec division. So these are where you're going to have your juniors, your opens, your that 40s mixed is going to be in this bunch.
And the open mixed.
You're going to have all your age groups, your 40s, 50s, 60s, 65s, all of that will be in this group. 5 minutes later, we're going to be coming up with unlimited canoes and unlimited. And do they allow 9-man?
The 9 is in 5 minutes following that.
Okay, 9-man is 5 minutes.
So we have 3 starts.
So it looks like we're off to a good start. This is going to be fun. Stick with us. And a big mahalo again out to Kaiopua Canoe Club, the big island of Hawaii Visitors Bureau, for supporting this racing here today. And of course, all of us from Ocean Paddler are proud to be here making outrigger canoe paddling a spectator event.
So
all right, these guys are off, Katie.
It looks like they got a clean start. Now, the men are notorious in this race for having false starts. I don't know if it's happened in recent years, but I remember quite a few years where they would get a false start and they would make everybody stop and start again. That rarely happened in the women's race, but it looks like they're letting this race start go, and these guys are off.
What a sight, Katie. As I look back inshore from our position way on the outside, and you can just see all of these canoes, it makes me think of, like, you know, an armada of warriors traveling down the coastline in battle. It's just amazing, and really that's kind of what's happening. All these men in their canoes, they're warriors. They're out here to do battle in the ocean. And, hey, just before the race starts, we all friends. As soon as it's as soon as it's finished, we all friends again. But when the race is happening, Katie, if there's a canoe next to you, they're doing battle.
They're doing battle. It just takes 2 canoes to have a race. And it doesn't matter, too, whether the canoe next to you seems to be in your division. They could be in another type of canoe. It could be another age division. You're still going to go for your pride and try to push ahead and beat this other canoe next to you. So I can already see a few canoes sort of breaking out ahead of the pack. Of course, you know, sometimes crews just have a good start and they jump out, and then other people will creep up on them again. But I bet some of those crews over there are going to be the ones that are up in the front at the finish. But this, again, is the spec canoes taking off, so there could be some crews in the unlimited division who are going to move up and try to pass these leaders at some point. Now, that's going to take a while before they get up here. It's usually probably at least an hour or so before the lead unlimited canoes are going to make it up near the lead spec boats, and then some real battles will take place out here.
Now, it's really hard to tell what's going on, but you can see right here, this is one of our spec design boats, but that beautiful va'a is made out of koa. We're going to try to get a number on them for you, but that is one of our koa boats racing there. And yeah, we looked at our top finishing crews for the women's race were about 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's right, Katie? So I'm guessing that some of these men's crews, our top finishers, will be able to break the 2 hour mark. That's what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Outrigger Canoe Club. We just got some word. Outrigger Canoe Club in their koa division. Nice.
Wow,
nice,
what a nice canoe.
These guys aren't too rushed. They got some good-sized paddlers in there, especially you look at the guys in 3, 4, 5. Those are good-sized boys right there. And so they're letting them use their power. They're letting them get some nice grab in the water and not trying to rush things. And so this looks like a nice, smooth canoe going on right here. Beautiful paddling by Outrigger Canoe Club. Switching back to our drone shot here. Look at that. What a sight. All of those heading down that historic Kona coastline, passing Honau now, directly inside of them, coming up around Ke'e. As we had said earlier, that is the home of Keku Haupio and where our great King Kamehameha was trained in the art of fighting in Lua. And so look at this beautiful canoes. Man, what a sight. And a gorgeous big island day, a little bit of clouds around the mountain. Wow.
Yep.
What a sight to behold. It's even better in person, folks, but we're so glad that you were able to join us here live on Facebook, whether you're logging in on Ocean Paddler or on the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races Facebook page. But please text your friends, call them up, and let them know what's going on. And we'll be hanging out with you for at least the next couple of hours here, bringing it live from the Big Island of Hawaii.
And you can already see here, so the canoes are starting to spread out in their course decisions, whether to go closer along the coastline or go further out, trying to make their decisions about what they think is going to be better in terms of the current and the swells. And so looks like the Unlimited canoes have already started as well.
Yeah,
so
looks like the Unlimited gang are on their way down the coast as well now. I'm really looking forward to see some good things out of this Unlimited division here today. I'm guessing by the amount of top women's crews that opted for Unlimited that their counterparts, which are usually some of the better men's crews, will do the same and opt for that. And so we're looking for some really speedy times.
Unlimited division seems to be growing in this race. A lot of canoe clubs in other parts of the world or California places primarily use unlimited canoes, so they probably want to come here and do the same, use an unlimited boat, because a spec boat's going to feel pretty heavy if you haven't been training in that.
Yeah. So this is what you're seeing here from a distance, albeit, is the start of that second heat, which would be the Unlimited gang, like we were just talking about. Behind them, there's a small spattering of 9-man crews. Those are the ones that will be able to do changes and all that. They'll be starting here in a couple minutes as well. So we're going to have to see. Looks like some of our Big Island crews have lined up more on the outside, which may prove to be a good strategy. We have a little bit of a side wind coming in from offshore, and maybe it'll allow these better crews to have a little bit of an angle coming in over here. Outside of us, we're looking at, not sure exactly what canoe club that is. I think we have
so that's
Puna out there in the green.
Interesting that you would say that, Clay. If you're correct in noting that it looks like some of the local clubs are taking an outside course, because it seemed like the outside line worked well for some of those women's crews. And so you think it would kind of be the opposite for the men, going back, like you'd want to do the opposite thing. If something's working in one direction, well, it's probably not going to work in the other. But
I didn't have a chance to check the tides and stuff, but you might have a type of situation where in the time between the end of the last race and now, the tide is switched, and now it's going to be going the other way.
That's very true.
So that'll be something that these men can be taking advantage of.
Something that often the steersmen and coaches try to really look at and do some analysis, try to understand what's more likely to happen. Now, a lot of times people will try to predict that, but sometimes it doesn't always quite work out that way. For example, recently was the M2O Molokai to Oahu, the prone and stand-up paddleboard race from Molokai to Oahu, and it was a very strong rising tide during pretty much the entire race. There was a nice trade wind, so the race officials thought records are going to be broken here. I mean, there's everything going for it for this to be fast. And instead, it took people like an hour to an hour and a half longer because there was something else going on with the current. And don't really know why that happened, but boy, it was pretty brutal for people who were thinking that we were going to have a fast race, and then it ended up being hard.
Some nice racing there you're seeing on your screen. That's of our spec boat gang, taken from our boat 2 here. And now what you're dropping into, we're going to get confirmation on what canoe club this is, but they're here from the Big Island of Hawaii, and that is Kaho'okahi Kanuha, steering them down the coast here. He's a Hawaiian activist and kia'i for Mauna Kea. We're going to try to get some numbers off of these crews and see where they're coming at us from.
Yeah, these guys are
beautiful paddling right there.
Yeah, smooth.
This is Kaiopua Canoe Club. Kaiopua Canoe Club, Ho'oka'i Canoe steering them. These men look solid out here. Big, nice reach, some smooth paddling, and they're really starting to settle in. You're going to see their tempo adjust over time as they're beginning to feel some water there, see how they can surf down the coast a little bit here and there.
And they might be changing their stroke rate depending on what's kind of going on in the ocean around them. Could be who's around them if they're trying to make a move on another boat, or trying to pass a boat or get away from somebody. So crews will typically try to settle in with a pace that they're comfortable with and kind of works with their crew size and the type of canoe, but there can be adjustments along the way.
Right.
Maybe if there's a little swell they want to try to catch, so they'll do a little pickup to try to pick up things. So, but these guys are smooth, very nice stroke rate. They've got some decent sized guys in there. So
right.
this is not a super fast stroke rate, but yet nor is that a slow one. I say that's
it's
a
not
good medium
really
pace.
slow like we saw off of, like, for instance, Team Red Bull in the past. But man, they have a nice stretch out over there, keeping it nice and big, not too much movement, very smooth. You look at their paddlers, like look at our paddler in seat 3 there in the red shirt. He's very relaxed. The head and shoulders aren't doing more than they need to. Very efficient movement, and that's what you need when you're racing iron for 18 miles. Now, something interesting to note is that this crew here is Kaiopua home waters here on this coastline, and they lined up the most outside. So we'll see if that pays off. Again, we're back to a drone shot that you're seeing on your screen. And back to our koa.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see how some of these outer crews, whether they decide this turns out to be a decision that they're happy with in their course. But if somebody like Kaiopua, I think these guys probably know the water pretty well. So this really could be a good choice for them. And they are moving up. Some of these unlimited boats are now moving up into some of the spec and koa boats, so we're going to start to see some mixing of the crews in here, different canoe types.
Nice follow shot of a unlimited crew here, and you can see that steersman reaching out to that left side. You're going to see a lot of that in this race today. So what's happening is the front of these canoes, especially the unlimited canoes, sits higher in the water. If you're catching wind off of your port side or ama side of left side of the canoe, it's going to be pushing that nose downwind, and we're constantly going to be kind of compensating for that. So.
Right, and these guys are trying to, it's probably as much as they can, to paddle steer rather than poke. The paddle steer allows to create less drag than when you're poking the canoe, but you have to balance that out. So if you're paddle steering, sometimes you're going to miss maybe 2 or 3 strokes because you're having to pull for a while, as opposed to just do some kind of a quick jab poke on the other side. So balancing out the drag you're causing with a steering poke versus paddle steering, then they got to make a decision about which one they're going to do for an adjustment.
It's a constant calculation for that steersman, whether he's doing better for the crew paddling or keeping the canoe as straight as possible. And the more experienced or the better steersmen are able to do both simultaneously. So it's always about efficiency of movement, whether you're a paddler or a steersman or whatever, but it's always about efficiency of movement, getting the most out of every person. That's how you get a winning crew.
That's right. And, as a steersman, you got to know your first job is steering. Your first job is making the canoe go in the right direction, making sure you're not making your crew go extra distance because you're trying to paddle too much and you're not steering enough. So calculated decisions there on how much you're going to paddle, how much you're going to focus on steering. But they also got to be looking around, looking at the other canoes, trying to judge the different parts of the race. What does it look like somebody who's on a different part of the race course is moving better because of the water? So should I move my canoe in there? Is this a good choice of where I am? Looking around for your competition. It's always great to have your real competition, in your sights and try to focus on how you're doing compared to them, and maybe trying to pass them or not let them pass you. So the race within a race. Yeah,
definitely in this part of the race, the first 20, 30 minutes, this first part, if you're a top crew, you're just looking to get away from everybody else. You're looking to establish yourself into some really clean water Figure out where it is you are, who you're battling with, what's your competition, and then you kind of settle into the race. You don't want to be working too hard right now, and you don't want to be exerting yourself past the point of recovery, but you definitely want to work hard enough to kind of get away from the pack if you're one of the top paddlers. Now, if you're not in a top paddling boat, if you're going to be more of a middle of the pack kind of boat, I think it's great to be able to just settle in as soon as possible, particularly if you have, if you're in an iron crew. You want to settle in as quickly as possible. Settling in and being smooth conserves energy, Katie.
Conserve energy, and that is really, in a race like this, is one of the most important things. You know, when I first started paddling, Tommy Connor said to me, it's about efficiency. You don't want to make extra movement, use extra energy, because if you're out here paddling for 2 to 3 hours, you know, you really need to save as much of the extra energy and just put it into your paddling, because it's gonna take a lot of energy to get from the beginning to the end of this race. And it's just getting hotter right now. It's pretty warm out here today. There is a little bit of side wind coming in, which I think these guys will be going to be grateful for. So that will be a little bit cooler for them with the wind. They're probably going to splash each other once in a while to try to stay cool. But again, the efficiency, settling in, find that smooth stroke rate, find that good rhythm for your crew, and to make everything efficient and as easy as possible.
Katie, I hear you. I've done this race a couple of times to the point where I was like, the heck with that place, because it's so hot out here. And you can tell by the sun beaming down on us, and it is just about 12 noon right here. Heat exposure is a huge factor in a race like this. And like you said, Katie, you're going to have the paddlers next to you kind of splashing water, try to keep you cool. You're going to be wanting to hydrate. And really, it's one of those, like when we do canoe sailing, you want to drink before you're thirsty. Eat before you're hungry, because if now you're thirsty and now you're only drinking, it's
now you're in recovery mode.
It's too late. Yeah, you're on your way down the dehydration pipeline. So it's keeping all of those, all of those elements on the forefront of the paddler's mind, so that they can keep it going for as long as they can, or keep the highest level of intensity to that 17th and 18th mile.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're out there paddling, you think, I don't want to stop and miss a couple strokes and get some water. I don't want to let my crew down and miss strokes, but you're going to get yourself more in detriment and let them down more if you let yourself get too thirsty or get dehydrated, because you get dehydrated, you get weaker. Yep. So you need to take care of yourself, make sure that you're at top performance for your crew. So that doesn't mean, stopping and opening up the picnic basket and grazing away, but it means like making sure your water system is working for you. Definitely drink early, drink often in a race like this.
So what are some of the hydration systems that you've been seeing nowadays in crews? I know they have some people wear them on their back, some people have them strapped to their seat. What kind of are you seeing?
Yeah, and that's really comes down to a personal thing, what
Preference.
You're comfortable with. A lot of people don't like something on their back, while they're paddling, but there are some great water systems like that if you can just kind of get it situated in a place you like, they don't bind your shoulders and things, and so those are good systems, that good gravity feed from those. There's other ones that you can clip under your seat. Sometimes they're like a Camelback brand, or some of those you clip underneath, and the water system stays under. So lots of different brands and systems, but usually it's going to be something, a fanny pack, or something on your, like a backpack thing, or something clipped to your seat. And again, it's personal preference and what you find works good for you, and what's less likely to get messed up during the race.
I really like the one under the seat. That's the one that does well for me. And what you're looking at here is our second place overall spec boat from the front of the pack. These guys are looking really smooth. Not quite able to tell who they are just yet. We're going to look for some identification. Let's looking like 264. That would be the front. We're looking for the back number on this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't quite see it. We're hoping we're going to get our crew back there looking through the manifest at what crews we're being able to see on here. But again, nice smooth paddling. These guys have their bucket hats. bucket truckers keeping them cool. They got their long sleeve jerseys, trying to keep the bodies nice and cool as they move. The only great part about this is that can be like, this race is only around 2 hours, whereas something like Molokai Hoi is in the neighborhood of 4 hours plus, right?
Yes, that's right. That looks like a Lai'ula canoe, but I'm not sure I don't think that's the crew that's in there. So a lot of clubs here, sharing their canoes with other clubs, helping out the international crews. Sometimes maybe you just have a women's crew, so you're letting a men's crew bring the canoe back for you. So lots of sharing of the watercraft here makes it a little bit harder for us to sometimes identify crews, but we'll do our best to figure out who we're looking at. So another, looks like, is that a koa?
Canoes are actually moving pretty nicely right now. They have a bit of a kind of side / headwind here. But hopefully they're able to make the most out of it as they work their way down the coastline.
Yep,
we still have a good amount of canoes out in the front here that are still holding pretty tight. We have one grouping of 3 right out in the front. They're like all vying for first place.
Yeah, and I'd say just from looking at the canoe colors and stuff, that's probably a Lanikai crew in 4th place because I think they've brought their own canoes. But that group of 3 in the front, we're going to need to go take a look at and see who it is. I think these guys have the southwest swell, so they got a bit of a swell coming from the back left and then a little bit of a headwind from the side to front left.
Ooh. This looks like it might be, is that Kilohana Canoe Club? Can we... 6'3". We're going to look at our manifest. Kilohana Canoe Club, if this is them, has really kind of come up this last year. They're from the island of Kauai, and they really kind of started putting some stuff together, not only with their open program, but the juniors as well.
This is Keahiaka Hoi.
Oh, that's Keahiaka Hoi Canoe Club.
Yeah.
Better yet, from Kahalu'u on the island of Oahu. Now, is that a open crew there for Keahiaka Hoi?
Yes, open men. Yep.
Open men. Nice. Nice work there. We got, looks like Jace Falfata in there. That's Kamulao, I believe. Good work from this Keahiaka Hoi Canoe Club. These guys are from Kahalu'u on the island of Oahu. Yeah, boys. Looking good out there, representing red and black.
No, they've got a pretty quick stroke rate. Not quick, but, they're sort of on the quicker end, I think, of comparing some of the other crews who might be pounding a bit slower. So they're probably finding that's something that works well for their crew lineup, their crew size.
Keahiaka Hoi Canoe Club right there from the front on our drone shot. Looking good. Oh, no, this is a different crew now we're looking at. This canoe that you're looking at on your screen is in about 6th place overall from the lead.
It's a good chance it's
looking good there.
Maybe it's Outrigger. Yeah, we weren't able to catch a number on them, but yeah, they look like they're in about 6th overall. Right now, it's all still spec boats up in the front.
And now on your screen, we're about to switch over to, this is, I believe, Puna Canoe Club from the Hilo side of the island of Maui. They got a Bradley canoe there with no spray skirt on it. And they have one of Kai Va'a's new amas made by Tiger Canoes here in the Kohala Coast. But they are looking really strong, a fit bunch of guys there. Some good-sized buggas in this canoe. And they have a nice stroke where they're not too fast, just a kind of a good rate. Big, open reach. And trucking along. Again, that is Puna's open crew right there that you're seeing on your screen from here on the Hilo side of the Big Island. Nice work, Puna.
Yeah, and they're kind of even with the previous crew we looked at. So these guys are kind of in a battle for
5th place, maybe?
5th place, yeah, at this point.
Yeah, 5th place overall, and right now, and 5th place in the spec division.
And we're probably
but they're looking very smooth. These guys definitely have another 16 miles left in them. We're probably a couple miles into this course. We've gone away from Captain Cook Bay and past. Oh, no, we're now coming into Captain Cook Bay, I believe.
Yeah, I think we're about a half an hour in, so we're like a quarter away through the race.
Yep. Is that a koa we're seeing there, Katie?
That sure looks like a koa. Yeah.
That is one of our koa canoes right there. Now that koa canoe is probably maybe middle of the pack, upper middle of the pack for this gang. But it is so great to be able to see those koa canoes out here.
Yeah, and I think with the slightly more mellow conditions here compared to some of the other races, this is a race where they do have a lot of the koa boats show up because they're maybe a little bit more fragile than the fiberglass canoes, but also
certainly
they're
more precious.
Very precious, and so people don't often want to risk taking them into super rough open ocean conditions. So you won't see as many of these kind of canoes in races like the Nawahini Okekai or Molokai Hoi, but in a race like this, and also what a fabulous place to paddle a koa canoe along this coastline, where probably the wood came from, a forest nearby here. So bringing the canoe back to sort of its source.
Let's see who this is that we're looking at on our screen. Some red jerseys.
I think this is the crew that's up in the front. This is the first place crew right now. You can see the two crews right behind them. So this is a pretty
yes, this is
tight,
our leaders right here. You're seeing on your screen.
The top three. We're going to try to figure out who these guys are. That second place crew's got green hats, but of course that doesn't always tell us everything. Can you tell who that is, Kalai?
No, I can't. I can't even see a number.
Wow, look at the long stroke rate, though. I mean, just like a long stroke. Wow, these guys are smooth. Maybe if the drone can help us get the number on this canoe, we can let you know who that is up in the front currently. But in a tight battle, there's two canoes really close behind these guys. So
that's tight. That top three is in a really tight grouping.
Oh, so this is Wailea up in the front.
Oh, okay. This is Wailea in a spec boat. Okay, that's interesting. Now, Wailea was one of the crews that we were looking for, and we didn't really quite know what boat they were going to pick, right?
Yeah, whether they were going to be in an open, in a glass boat or unlimited. Now, I think they actually have a crew in the unlimited canoe and a crew in the glass canoe.
They probably have the depth to do that.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to pan out for them.
Yeah. Well, right now it looks like it's panning out well. They're up in the front. Okay, this looks like...
This is Lanikai Canoe Club's first crew.
Sure.
That's Karel Tresnick in white there steering. These guys looking good. Very relaxed stroke. We're going to put them in a close fourth place here off of Captain Cook, Kealakekua.
Yep, this is an open men's crew.
Lanikai Canoe Club.
Is that Andrew Penny in C3?
Yeah, that's Andy Penny in C3. That guy, he just doesn't go away, does he?
No, he does not.
Yeah. Yeah, Lanikai Canoe Club, 676. Looking really strong. These guys are a perennial favorite, perennial powerhouse. I'm sure they've got a couple of crews out here today, but looking really good. Some of the most accomplished paddlers in that boat right there. You got Andy Penny. I remember, wasn't Andy Penny winning the Molokai Hoi with
Team New Zealand
like over 20 years ago?
Yes.
So that guy in number 3, he was he's a multiple world champion over the last 20 years.
Yes.
And of course, the guy steering them, Karel Tresnick Jr., has no shortage of his own accolades. Remember when he came on the scene as a young 18-year-old and was...
No, he was
even younger. He was like 16,
I think he won the channel on the OC one when he was 16.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I still think of Karel Tresnick as like a teenager or a youngster, and he's like, what are you talking about? I'm in my 40s now. Yeah.
Shucks. No, but they got some great paddlers in there. they're battling back and forth with another crew for 4th place there. And now we're switching back up. This looks like we're in the middle of the pack somewhere, a little bit farther back. Maybe some age group paddlers. Hard for us to always see the numbers, but that's a good grouping of canoes, and you can see them all moving. It looks like the water is not so sticky headed back to to Kailua. What do you think?
Yeah, these guys all seem to be moving well. I mean, there is texture you can see from the wind that has picked up a little bit. There's some of that southwest swell that's been coming through, so it's definitely not flat out here. I mean, I've paddled races here where it is just glassy and you're looking at your reflection like a mirror.
Great shot of this nice Tiger Canoe Unlimited right there. Not quite sure what club that is, but man, they are moving.
Yeah.
So you're going to see that's one of our Unlimited boats kind of picking its way through the pack of spec canoes.
Yeah, and those guys all had different shirts on, so that could be another one of those, awesome throw-together crews of different guys. Yeah, this is, I guess the race within the race starts forming in here when you've got crews kind of going into little clumps or groupings that are moving sort of at the same speed, and so now you're trying to pick your way through with other canoes and see how you're doing against them. Try to push yourself and try to move ahead of some of the crews that are around you. So we're back looking at the top 3 here. We're going to try to figure out what these are. 665. This looks like it's Team Oceania. Yeah, so Team Wailea is in first place. Team Oceania is in third. And we're going to try to figure out who's in second place here. Again, these canoes are really close together, so things could change. We've got quite a bit of race left.
All right, so what you're seeing on your screen here is that grouping of the top 3 that we've been talking about all day. So in the lead right there, that's Wailea, only by like a boat length or so. And then this crew right behind them is the remnants of the former Red Bull crew. They're going under Tuitonga, which interestingly enough was like the original name for their crew, maybe 20 plus years ago, way before Livestrong and Red Bull, all of that. They were called Tuitonga. So looks like they're going back to their roots.
Back to their roots.
Yeah. And then just outside of them in that yellow canoe is Team Oceania. Mario, Mausio, and a bunch of these guys that really represent international participation within the Polynesian Triangle.
And super interesting right now to look at the different stroke rates with these crews. Team Oceania's got, they're picking up a little bit on some of these bumps, but Wailea's got probably the slowest stroke rate of these 3 canoes and looks super comfortable out front here. I think Team Oceania is a little bit faster than them, and then this Team Tuitonga maybe slightly even quicker stroke rate. Again, not super fast. I would not say this is a fast stroke rate, but just comparing the 3 together. So, wow, look at
we're switching back to the middle of the
coastline
pack. Some of
behind
our other paddlers.
That's beautiful.
Some of our other paddlers here, back in the middle of the pack, enjoying a beautiful day of racing here on that coastline. Trying to identify some of these canoes.
Yeah, so these guys you're looking at a little bit back behind the front of the pack, but these guys are doing well, kind of trying to pull away from some of these teams around them. Okay, let me look and see who we're looking at there. That is VRC, Victoria Recreation Club from Hong Kong. Wow, these guys have come a long way to do this beautiful race. Boy, these guys have a great stroke too. Very much up front. Yeah, these guys are working well together, looking really smooth. Lots of paddling by the steersman. Good job, Team Hong Kong.
All right, Team Hong Kong. Looking good there, gang. All right, what you're looking at right now is our leaders this afternoon. Now that we've gotten past lunchtime, we have Team Wailea in the front in the red jerseys, white canoe. We have in second place, that is former Team Red Bull. They're going under Tui Tonga. That is in that white jerseys and blue canoe with red gunnels. And in the background there, kind of blue-green jerseys in a yellow boat, that is Team Oceania. These were three of the favorites we talked about earlier on, and it is not a surprise that they are up here battling with each other. These are three very strong crews. All of these teams have a lot of depth in them. World champions in all of these crew paddling together. But if you take a look at the overall sizes of these different paddlers and the type of strokes that they're employing, our first place crew has a nice slow stroke, but they don't necessarily have the biggest paddlers. Now, right behind them, you're going to see our guys from Tui Tonga, guys like Kainoa Tano Ai and Kua Nolan. These are big, tall guys. That's Trey up there stroking them. These are big fellas, and they have a lot of wingspan, and you want to give these bigger guys with a lot of power, you want to give their blades time in the water to drive that canoe forward. And they have a little slower stroke. You can see them right there picking up.
Yep,
the steersman give the kahea to kind of surf, and then right behind them, you're going to see the Oceania team, little bit faster stroke rate.
Yeah, so these guys are, even though there's this water is not, big swells here to try to catch, not a big open ocean swell. There's some subtleties here going on. There's some, small little runners. So if you can use everything that is offered to you to try to, boost your speed a little bit, the more that you can do that, that's going to make you not have to work quite as hard. So
yeah, and I'll tell you the truth, Katie, for these steersmen, you don't get to be the steersman of Wailea. You don't get to be Keikoa Kramer and not having the skills or having won a few races. All of these steersmen are really good, and when you have these kind of paddlers, these five in front of you, it's like driving a race car versus like a Toyota Tercel. They have all the horsepower that they could want to play this lively ocean, and they have the skills to find that extra energy in the water, and they have also the power and the feel of the crew to be able to pick up and paddle a little bit harder to let them drop in on a wave and then settle in and surf it down. So we're going to see a lot of strategy, a lot of settling in, picking it up to surf, settling in, picking up the surf. But it's interesting for me to see crews that are smaller and crews that are bigger all opting for a slower base stroke, but of course having the opportunity to pick it up when it's time to surf. But it seems to me like this slower base stroke, especially in an iron race, we're not in a 1 mile sprint. We are not in a 9-man race where you're changing out guys all day long. You have to make it last. And these top crews have opted for a slower, deeper stroke, probably a paddle with a little bit longer shaft length, a little bit bigger blade, probably because of what they're going for. But either way, these guys are all plenty strong and plenty fit to make that happen all day long.
That's right. And, of course, this being a fairly flat course, this is very different than doing open ocean wind swell like crossing the Kaiwi Channel, where you are picking it up a lot to try to catch a wind swell, ride it, then you're reaching, stretching it out, and going down. So your stroke rate will change tremendously, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you are sailing. You're going to pick it up a little bit to chase the subtlety things, but right now, I'd say with these guys, this is a game of patience. These three crews right here,
game.
They're playing the long game.
Speaking of the long game, we're looking back a little bit here on the rest of the pack of canoes, and you can see how how tightly they are all together, and it does certainly make it exciting when you have other canoes, other crews next to you that you're battling out with, and you're trying to fight back and forth. And even though those guys might not even be in your division, right? They may be the 50s, and you might be the open or whatever. But man, when you have other crews next to you, you know, for instance, this crew right here, that's a Koa crew. So they could be battling a 50s crew next to them.
That's
that
right.
has no bearing on whether, but man, when there's more than one canoe in the water, there's a race happening,
There's
Katie.
pride on the line happening right there, of course. And but also sometimes this is a friendly, fun sort of competition where you push each other. Like you're next to them and, hey, let's pick it up for a few changes and see whether we can try to move up on this canoe next to us. So it helps you to sort of push yourself as well. So
and so we're going to be looking through all of this here. We're looking for, you see some Koas, some Unlimited. As they continue to head down the coastline, we're probably about 3-4 miles into this race. Just maybe, we're lucky if it's maybe a quarter into this race. And we're seeing our Unlimited boats start to pick their way through the spec crowd and trying to gun for the guys at the top. But I don't know, Katie, those three crews up there, anybody back here in Unlimited crew is going to have a hard time catch those guys up, man.
They have their work cut out for them because I see these three crews, again, a game of patience, but they are also going to be pushing each other. And the three of them are just going to keep going faster as they push each other. They're going to try to be patient and it's not going to do us any good to just really put the paddle down and, pass this one crew next to me because you still got, more than half of the race left. But they are going to be trying to just eke out a little bit more speed so that they can stay together in that group or even try to get ahead of, the crew next to them. So yeah, it is going to be hard for, I think, the lead spec boats to catch up, the lead Unlimited boats to catch up to these lead.
Yeah,
lead spec
I think
boats.
it's that when you get into the men's division, the relative power to the weight of the canoe is not as critical as it is in the women's division. And just for everybody's frame of reference, our top 6+ boats are just passing Kealakekua right now. We're just leaving Kealakekua Bay. We can definitely see some of the larger structures in Kailua Kona from here. But again, a great afternoon of racing. It is a bit side shore, but hey, some of these good steersmen, they're gonna surf it. They're gonna weave their way down the coastline.
Yeah, and I can actually, I don't know. No, you guys are looking, I think, at Lanikai Canoe Club and another crew that are battling for fourth place. We're just a little bit behind them, and I was looking at a crew that was actually bailing their canoe. So they're in a spec boat with no canvas. So there is enough ocean movement out here that they're getting some water splashing into their canoes. Could be maybe some boat wake too helped with that, but not the smooth, glassy conditions that we sometimes see here. We've got some texture on the water for sure. So, Kalei, do you remember who was with? You guys are looking at Lanikai men.
Yeah, Lanikai probably in that 5th or 6th place, right?
Yes,
that's what we're looking at, I believe.
I was trying to recall who was next to them on the inside there. But I think those two crews right there, they're going to be in their own little battle to try to push each other and try to not let that gap with the front three boats grow. We've got a Koa boat behind. You guys are still looking at Lanikai, and just behind that in about 9th place is a Koa canoe. And these guys have a nice smooth, slow stroke rate as well.
Yeah, they're looking good. It seemed to me like, you just Kiowa Canoe Club over here in their koa. They're from the Big Island of Hawaii as well, Kiowa Canoe Club. Nice, easy stroke. This looks like they may be a mixed group. Looks like some 40s guys inside of there. Can never tell, though.
Yep, that's so they're in an open crew, but that means that they've got at least one person who's under 40. That's all that means.
This is Kiowa Canoe Club here.
Yep.
Looks like the young boy up front. The uncle's lending the power in the middle. But they look good. Kiowa Canoe Club heading down the coastline here with some beautiful backdrop. Look at those lava rocks there and the surf crashing against it.
Yep, there's going to be some crews out here today that even within their own crew have
this
a
is the
wide
opposite view. That's our drone getting a shot coming back towards us. Yeah, that's our boat with the Hawaiian flag and the ocean paddler flag over there with the Kiowa Koa canoe. I believe this is our first place Koa, and they are looking great here. Again, we're just coming out of Kealakekua, probably about 5 miles into this race. Good work, gentlemen.
As I was looking at these guys, we were kind of pointing out that it looks like there's some age differences here. There's a lot of crews out here that probably have that going on, where they've got some younger people and some older people. And in fact, I talked to some of the Hawaiian Voyaging Canoe Society guys, and they had a guy who's, I think, 32 and another one who's 65.
Wow.
And some other ages in between. So, that makes them have to enter the open division because of the youngster there. But, that's pretty great to have such a big, diverse group of age and maybe experience in their canoe. These guys were smart, and looks like they put the young one up front.
Make the lead dog a young dog, huh? That's a good of you to notice that. But yeah, again, this is our first place call. They are making their way right around the point here. Beautiful scenery here. And again, big mahalo out to the Hawaii Island Visitors Bureau, which was a huge support for today's events, this whole weekend's series of races. Of course, Kaupua Canoe Club and everyone here at Ocean Paddler. We're so grateful to be able to bring you the coverage live of the 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races from Kailua Kona on Hawaii Island. Again, we are about 5 miles past the start of the men's race, the second half of the day's racing. And this is another gang.
This is Huinalu.
Is that Huinalu?
Yeah, this is Huinalu Canoe Club.
You sure?
Recognize those jerseys.
For real? Really? Okay.
That's so looks like they're in an unlimited boat. Yep, they look like they're moving well too. Not sure exactly where they are in the pack. We'll try to figure out their position, but again, they started in the second wave of racers, so they're trying to move up through the group of other canoes.
All right, this is Huinalu in an unlimited. I don't know if that's an age division or open. They are in a borrowed canoe from here on the Big Island of Hawaii, Hulakai canoe.
So this actually says they are a 60 plus.
624?
60 plus.
60 plus?
Yes.
Wow, look at these guys, 60 plus in a unlimited va'a there from Huinalu. Some tough-looking gentlemen there, still going. They look like they're really picking people off as they make their way up here. We're gonna be looking to try to find some of our top unlimited crews making their way from the outside. We see some of our unlimited crews from the outside here. Who's this? Who's this? Katie, can you look? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? 649.
So this is Leeward Kai right next to us in the
Leeward Kai
red
Canoe
canoe.
Club right here.
But that is not actually what you guys are seeing on the screen.
649. That's not what you're seeing on your screen right now. On your screen, it's hard for us to tell who that is. Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is another spec boat. They look like they're kind of on the inside of the course. One of the closer ones to shore. You can pan around, you can see the other canoes there picking a more outside line. Be great afterwards to talk with some of these guys and see whether they felt like the inside or outside was running better in retrospect.
Yeah, there's always that course choice that's going to make a huge difference out here.
And you wouldn't, think that with a quarter or maybe even a half mile difference of distance these guys are for being inside versus outside that it would matter. But a lot of times with these tidal currents, it really does make a huge difference.
Especially on an island like this, right, where, just offshore it might be 50 feet, but, a half a mile out it could be 500 feet. Just because we're on a volcano here, we're on a big mountain here. I think this is Leeward Kai Canoe Club right here that we're seeing. They're kind of one of the crews that is more on the east side. Leeward Kai from the west side of the island of Oahu. Looks like a bunch of brothers there, really in sync. Some nice paddling from these guys. They're probably in maybe about 10th to 12th place overall in the spec division.
Sorry, this is...
Sure?
Yeah, actually right next to us, this is Kamehameha Canoe Club. Sorry, out of Hilo.
Is that what it's saying?
Yes.
Kamehameha?
Yes, 6 or 9.
Okay, I was misinformed.
Oh.
My apologies.
I think that was my fault. Yeah, so these guys are from Hilo, so this is
this is Kamehameha Canoe Club.
Somewhat of home turf. They probably get over here to practice sometimes.
Looking good, though.
Yeah, they are
they're
looking
all same stroke. Looks like these guys put some time in.
Yeah, I think these guys are somewhere around top 10. Trying to look at the distance of the canoes in front of them. Yeah, that stroker's, he's got a really nice way up front stroke.
All right, we're going to look to catch on to some other crews right here.
Okay, so we're looking at the front unlimited canoe.
Is
correct?
this...
Yeah, and they said this is the Wailea canoe. So we were talking about Wailea had a good crew in the spec boat and a good crew in the unlimited.
So right here we're looking, just confirming that this is Wailea Canoe Club that we're looking at here in the white boat.
And just inside of them, so you can see them. You can see our border boat.
Correction. Okay, Wailea is on the inside of us.
Got it.
In
Yes.
this purple boat.
Yes.
They're probably running second or third in the unlimited division.
And they're
Wailea
just to the
inside
right.
in red here.
Yeah,
that's Wailea with the red jerseys. Outside of us is that.
It's what you're looking at.
What you're looking at right now, that white boat. We're trying to confirm a number there. That might be. We're trying to get a read on what crew they are. And coming up on a number here, we're looking for 648. I think this is Puna Canoe Club.
Yes, this is Puna Canoe Club.
Huh?
Puna.
Yeah, this is Puna Canoe Club
So
from here on the east side. Like we stated earlier, man, Puna got game these last few years. They got a couple of great crews, both men's and women's, and they've been really solid. I've really enjoyed watching their men's crews kind of rise to the forefront here. Nice paddling here in this unlimited canoe, and they're one of our top crews in the unlimited division, battling with Wailea just inside of them on that purple boat. I believe you're able to see that on your screen right now. Okay, so that boat with the purple top and with the red jerseys, that is Wailea from Maui. We also have another Wailea crew in the lead overall in the spec boat. The boat you're seeing closest to you, the closest to us, that is Puna Canoe Club. Puna Canoe Club from the Hilo side. And then way on the inside over there is our first place koa. Who was that again, our first place koa? Forget who that was overall. But they're so that's kind of just giving you an idea of where we are. Now these unlimited boats are slowly creeping up on the rest of the pack. But
I think these are our two front unlimited canoes at this point.
Two front unlimited. Okay,
yeah,
great.
There's another one just outside, a very close third, but further outside. But these two guys look like at this point they're front, and because they're close together, they're going to be in a battle and be pushing each other.
I'm wondering if that boat outside of us is in Nakoa Kona. the 50s.
Oh. Yep.
But this, we're still focused here on these two unlimited boats. These are our leaders making their way up through the pack of spec boats. They are probably in the neighborhood of, what do you think, Katie? About 10th place overall.
Yep.
But maybe about a little over half a mile back from our three lead boats that are still battling it out. I can imagine that's still going to be Wailea's first crew, Tui Tonga, and Team Oceania. Okay, now we're going to head on back to the rear of the pack and see some of our other paddlers back there enjoying a beautiful day of racing here in Kailua Kona, the 50th annual. The 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races, held in honor of our queen.
We think we're looking at Kaiopua Canoe Club.
I see that. That's Kaihitu right there you're seeing on your screen.
It almost looks like a...
Yeah, but 450, that's the Wahine number. Yeah.
It almost looks like a Kailua Canoe Club with the jerseys, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, hard to tell perhaps. There's so many canoe clubs, so many
people
so
from
many
all over
different
the
jerseys and colors, and then their canoe club color is going to be green, and then for one race they'll all wear pink jerseys or something fun
right.
like that. Yeah.
Well, that's a great shot from the top with these three canoes.
Yeah, what a beautiful drone shot of our canoes. Just a beautiful day of racing. You can see how calm the water is, how great things look out there. Beautiful day of racing.
Let's go, number 5. What are you doing? Yeah, boys.
Enjoy that drone look, and now we're going to be coming up on one of our fan favorites here. This is the Hulakai boys. This is Nakoa Kona. They are a 50s team, right? 50s?
They are 50 plus.
50s plus. And these gentlemen are third place overall, not overall, but third place in the unlimited division right now. That's who we were talking about earlier. That's the steersman Bruce Ayao out there. We have June Balanga in there, Jerry Bess, Pat Vaughn, some top paddling gentlemen out there.
Also Troy Parker and Mike Andrade. Yep. Tough guys.
Troy Parker stroking them. Looking good in 2, Uncle June. So just to notice that Bruce is not too far in right now. He's kind of just cruising out here, slightly offshore. These guys are definitely a fan favorite. All of them from right here on the Kona coast. They've been doing a great job racing overall, not only here in the islands, but in Catalina over the last couple of years. They've done really well, winning their age division, winning this race last year in their division, and top 5 overall. So we're looking at these gentlemen just a couple of a few boat lengths behind our number 1 and number 2 unlimited, which would be Wailea and Puna. And so these guys are definitely in the hunt for our first place boats up there. Looking good, gentlemen, looking good. As they said to me a couple of years back was, hey, when you're 50, you still can. You just got to manage it better. You got to manage the body and manage the training, manage the food a lot better. But these guys are definitely managing to do very well over the last couple of years. And go get them. Team Hulakai, Nakoa Kona.
And these guys here, an epitome of efficiency. You know, we're talking about not making too much extra movement and wasting energy on things that aren't going to help you to go forward faster. These guys are super smooth and, boy, getting everything out of each stroke. Okay, now we've got here, this is the
651, is that what we got?
Yeah, this is the Lili'uokalani Wave Riders, Lili'uokalani, which is on the island of
Canoe
Oahu.
Club,
Yes.
Hawaii Wave Riders. I don't know how many waves you go and find in the Hawaii, but maybe just outside. This is a unlimited boat, Lili'uokalani Wave Riders. Hawaii Wave Riders. Looking smooth there.
This is an
Good day of
open
racing.
men's crew. Yeah, so Lili'uokalani is usually kept all of their canoes at the very end of the Hawaii Canal, so it's probably at least a mile and a half. You got to paddle out down the canal to get to the ocean. Kalai said now they've been keeping some canoes down more by Magic Island side so they can push off right into the ocean instead of getting that nice,
And actually be some wave riders.
nice mile and a half warm up in the canal. But
there's always, when there's that south swell hitting, there's that little fun wave that comes right along the corner of the channel over there by Bamburas. That's a good fun time on these racing, on these canoes heading in and out of that channel.
Hey, but a mile and a half each way of practicing in the canal perfects your sort of more flat ocean, paddling. Like when you've got smooth water, then a lot of the stuff that you're not doing together and not doing efficiently stands out more. So you're getting that opportunity to do some
You're right,
refinement.
Katie. That's kind of how it starts, right? You wanna start learning your technique, your efficiency, your being together as a crew in easier water, flat water, not a lot of bumps, all of that. And then once you start getting that, then you add in the next element of rougher water. And then you keep going back to the drawing board in the calm water, putting it together, feeling that feel, and then work on replicating that feel in the rougher waters.
Yeah, and then when you get out into the rougher waters and you have those moments where the ocean is doing something crazy and suddenly you're not all together and you're trying to get yourself through some wave, as soon as that kind of stops for a second and you get back to that moment of a place where you can get back together, you know how to find that and come back to that more quickly because you've had those moments where you are paddling all together, all in sync, all as one. Like, let's find that again.
So, Katie, again, what a great day of just being out here on the Kona Coast. A great day of racing. Some of the differences we're seeing right here between the men's race and the women's race, a little bit more wind on the water, not quite as fast as it was earlier. And as we mentioned, these men's crews are able to carry that weight of the heavier boat, the spec canoes, and continue that forward. Arguably, our best paddlers opted for the spec canoe.
That's
here.
what it looks like so far.
And whereas in the women's, our best paddlers, with the exception of Kalahui Kai, opted for unlimited, right? So interesting. When you have the extra power in your paddlers, a heavier boat is not necessarily a bad thing. What you're seeing right here in your screen is Keaho with their koa boat, their koa canoe. What do you think about that, Katie? Is that kind of one of the differences you're seeing?
Yeah, no, I agree. At least so far, it looks like the top crews are all in the spec boats, and I'm not even sure those limited canoes. We've got 3 of them up here, which are kind of pushing each other. Whether they're going to ever catch up with the spec boats, that's going to be a tough call. We're already at a point where we can see Kailua Kona coming up, and so I'm sure these guys can too. They're more than an hour into their race, so they're more than halfway through. I feel like the men, like you said, have chosen to keep some of their better crews in the spec boat.
Nice work by Keaho Canoe Club here in crew number 680 in their beautiful koa canoe, Makani Kai. Again, a very efficient, very long, and slower stroke. Usually with this slower stroke, you're opting for a bigger paddle.
Super visible shirts as well.
Yeah, safety orange, yo.
Safety orange.
Except for the guy in 5. He said, sleeves, you never need sleeves today. Yeah. Oh, okay. Back in 2014, that day we were talking about way back when it was Bruce Ayao steering them. Bruce was able to notice that this current was running really well on the inside. And so back with the team at that time, they were called the Mellow Johnnies, later became Team Red Bull. But the Mellow Johnnies used this same canoe that year and steered in all the way along the coastline to win overall in a totally cool boat. And that was back in 2014, nearly 10 years ago. And these guys are definitely making it look good right here. Nice big strokes. Look at that. Nice big strokes. Beautiful. We're about an hour into today's race. And this crew from Keho Canoe Club is doing a lot of nice work. So we have this Koa canoe right behind us, the one we were just talking about. We are about an hour and just an hour, 5 minutes or so into this race, which for our top crews means they're probably at least halfway there.
Yeah, they're probably more than halfway there, or thereabouts. Like you said, I think the front guys are going to be close to 2 hours, a little bit quicker than the women's race, even though they've got a little bit more bouncy conditions out here, I'd say. But they might actually be getting a little bit of push from this southwest swell. It seemed like some of the crews were picking it up a little bit in spots and maybe getting a feel of a little bit of push, utilizing that to help them get to the finish sooner.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a little bit of push. I can see the chop direction being a little bit behind them. It looks like there's a little bit of a lively ocean, but in favor of the direction our crews are going. I would imagine, we're probably in the 8 miles or less range for our top finishing boats.
Yeah, I mean, when you can see the finish up there ahead, that's a little bit more motivation too, to try to push you. Hey, look, we're almost there, or at least kind of feels like we're almost there. Okay, right now we're looking at another Wailea Canoe Club crew. This is the Lahaina Strong crew wearing that red in support of Lahaina. Everybody in Hawaii here feeling just a lot for them, a lot for the people of Maui, the people of Lahaina, and all our thoughts are with them at this time.
Yeah, we're about halfway through this race. We're about right here. We're maybe about a mile back from the leaders. We're at the 10-mile mark. So they're about we have about 9 miles left to go for our leaders at about the halfway point. So great racing here today, though. And really, you would think the wind would be a detractor, but man, it really helps to cool off these paddlers when we're looking at a race happening in this type of heat, man. We're looking at crew 635 in an unlimited.
That is the Haunani Outrigger Club from Canada. 40,
all right.
40
This
plus,
is our gang from Canada.
40-plus iron crew.
This is a 40-plus crew from Canada.
Yes, they are.
Those are the only guys could afford to pay the ticket. The open men never have the money to get over here. So all these older guys had the kala to make the trip across the pond. But we're happy to have this group from Canada enjoying a day of racing out here. I'm assuming we have a little bit warmer water than they do over in Canada. But these guys are enjoying a nice little bump right there.
That's why they want to paddle iron.
Yeah, that's why they
never want to practice water changes.
Yeah. Yeah, our folks online had just asked about Canada, and well, here you go. Here's our crew from Canada, and we're always happy to have commentary or questions coming in on our Facebook page or on the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races Facebook page, where you are watching live the action happening here.
Yeah, and we've probably got several canoes, crews from Canada, actually.
Yep. And a nice switch over here to Kai'ehitu Canoe Club. This is canoe number 674. 674. I believe they're from right here on the Big Island of Hawaii, Kai'ehitu.
Yep,
from
this is their
more the Kohala area, yes?
40-plus crew.
This is their 40 and over crew in the unlimited division. Nice work there.
So I know we've been back here for a while talking, but right now we believe, since we haven't been up there in 5 or more minutes, that the Wailea Canoe Club men are in the lead.
Yes.
And then behind them is
all right.
Team Oceania was in third, and second place was...
was Tui Tonga in second, Oceania third.
Yes.
What about crew 546 that we're looking at right here? That's 546 in an unlimited.
That's the VRC Victoria Recreation Club from
546?
Hong Kong. Yes.
All right. That's the Victoria Recreation Club.
That's their open men crew. Yep, from Hong Kong.
Is that from Canada?
No, Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong. This is one of our international crews.
Awesome to see them all the way here from Hong Kong.
Who you got for 684, Katie? 684.
684.
Again, this crew you're seeing on your screen right now. This is Victoria Recreation Club.
Kehoe Juniors is 684.
Yeah.
Yes, you guys are still
these are the guys from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, VRC, Victoria Recreation Club. They're doing pretty well over here in their unlimited Matahina boat.
Yeah.
Nice racing by these guys. Pretty high level stuff. I'm sure they start off dragon boat racing and then discover that about outrigger canoe racing and how fun it can be. Probably all converts from dragon boat racing though. They're looking good, gang. Yep. Team Hong Kong, Victoria Recreation Club. Team 546.
So, Kala'i, do you know much about these Matahina canoes? It seems like there's quite a few out on the course here today.
These are the latest design out of Tahiti. I've been seeing these canoes do really well over the last few years in places like, even pre-pandemic, in places like Sydney Harbor in Australia, was when they first came out, probably about 2018, 2019. And they're really catching on. They surf really well. They track really well. I saw them have a little bit harder time turning around the buoys because they have such a sharp entry and a sharp exit but they have a beautiful water line, and they seem really friendly to paddle and to steer downwind. And so this Matahina brand from Are, Tahiti is a really, really pretty canoe. That's a nice mold that they have, and it seems to be certainly one of the canoes of choice for places like out here. I've seen them in places that have a little bit flatter water, like Kona Coast side. They have a few of these, but there's a lot of good designers. Tiger's got a good canoe, Pukea's got a good canoe, Kamanu Composites. So there's a lot of great unlimited boats out there, but these boys from Hong Kong are enjoying.
Yeah,
we're gonna pull the drone around
really
to the front.
Out.
They know how to enjoy it. They didn't pay all that money to get here to not have some fun.
They are having some fun playing with our drone.
Yeah, but they're looking good. These guys are pretty smooth and look like they're pretty comfortable in this water here. So good on you, Victoria Recreation Club out of Hong Kong.
Feels like they're moving up on this other unlimited canoe that's right in front of them there. You can see a spec boat on the left, the yellow and red, but then the other canoe is another unlimited canoe. I think they've been making some ground on them right here, so having fun seems to work for them.
Yeah, having fun is always an upper. I mean, you don't want to be a downer in a canoe, right? You don't want the canoe to be a downer and a drag. Yeah. You definitely want to be having fun when you're in the va'a, You ain't got time for any junk. All right, here we're taking another look, switching out to boat 505, I believe.
That is Oceanside Outrigger Canoe Club.
All right, Oceanside, here from, I believe, Oceanside,
plus.
California.
Yeah, 50s
Is that
plus
right?
crew. Yes.
Well, is this the age group here?
Yeah, 50 plus.
50 plus from Oceanside. These men are looking great out here in a spec boat. Boat 2, looking good here. Again, we're about halfway through this race today. On our way there.
Yeah, so these guys are still in a group with some other canoes. You can see another boat pretty close inside of them, and then one further inside. So, still trying to push. What we say, the race within the race. Try to gauge yourself against this crew next to you, and hey, can we pick up just a little bit extra here and kind of pull away from them? So, good friendly competition going on, because again, you don't really know, is the crew next to you in your division or not. So you just have to say, hey, I'm just going to try to we're going to do what we can and try to move ahead.
Again, you're looking at Oceanside Canoe Club right here. They're 50-plus men's spec boat. Doing a nice job there. Right here we have a juniors crew. We're going to try to figure out where they're from. This is 684, a juniors crew, number 684.
They might be from Keoho, because
nice, calm, even stroke.
It is Keoho Juniors.
These Keoho Canoe Club, they're juniors. These guys are looking smooth. They got all their matching hats. They got their matching jerseys.
These looks guys like a boat huli. Looks like that might be a Koa boat.
18 and under. Is that what it requires?
This is
on the screen right here. We're looking at. We had a huli. Not sure exactly why, whether it was wake or whatever, but we're going to see how these men manage this. So right now, they're getting assistance not only from the skis and the safety boats, but everybody's kind of gathering, making sure that they have all their crew members. I see 6 heads. Looks like they're kind of deep in the water, though. You're going to need to get a little bit more water out of it than that. Usually when you see a canoe that deep in the water, it means their manu is flooded. This particular canoe is a koa, meaning that front manu is not a sealed, that front and rear manu is not a sealed compartment. So if you are aware, that front section in front of the stroker and the rear section behind the steersman that looks covered over, that's called the manu. Yeah, and so in a koa canoe, it's not sealed off. On a fiberglass canoe, they'll have like a wall there with a vent plug so that they can drain water should it get in, and or be able to have more so a ballast that's going to keep this canoe higher in the water should it flip over. And that's kind of the problem that they're having now. When they huli this canoe back over, you're going to notice the hull from tip to tip stays full of water, making it very difficult for them to be able to get the water out, because the gunnels are never high enough. You see that? The gunnel is still at water level. You're never going to be able to bail out the whole Pacific Ocean. One of the things they might be able to do is use the assistance of the jet skis to maybe haul out the front or the back manu and pull forward slowly, getting a lot of that water out of there and helping them right themselves and get paddling again.
But of course, with the koa canoe, they're going to try to be extra careful in doing that and trying to tow a canoe. The fiberglass canoes are going to be better able to deal with that. So these guys are going to have to be careful with this canoe.
Yeah, be very careful. This is a precious piece of equipment. Right now, I'm sure in all of their minds, the safety of this canoe takes precedence over their being able to continue with the race. This is easily $100,000 plus piece of equipment they got in the water right there.
Right.
This is Kihei Canoe Club.
Yeah, hopefully they can.
On the island of Maui.
Yeah, hopefully they can get this over, get enough water out of there that then they can get in and have somebody sit in there and start bailing. But yeah, this is going to be tough. And they're probably going to want to try this as much as they can before they get any assistance, because I think if they get assistance, they might become disqualified.
Yeah,
from the race.
At this point, you're pretty much looking just forward to finishing the race. This is often what happens in this race for the men's. I've been in a race like this where in the afternoon, the inshore winds, the onshore winds are starting to develop, and it's attacking that ama side of the canoe, making it very tippy. I've been in situations where we've had to tie or duct tape dive weights or
water
bottles, anything, just to keep that ama down so that you can avoid that risk of huli. Because, you know, although having an ama sitting a little lower in the water can be a bummer for your race, what's even worse is a huli. It just, not only it defeats your spirits, it's hard on your brain to be like, oh, we went over, and there starts being a lot of just pilikia in the canoe, and so it's always best to keep it upright. You know, a canoe doesn't paddle very well upside down.
Not so streamlined in that position.
Yeah. And this is similar to the situation we saw 2 years ago at the Catalina race, where they had winds all day from the port side, from the ama side, and what it's doing, that chop is just lifting up the ama, and wanting to throw it over and huli the canoe. So it's a matter of, you know, these guys right here, they're looking at, you know, we're just going to finish unofficially at this point. Let's get this canoe safely upright and going forward. And hopefully they can use the sled off the back of the ski to do that. Or what happens is you tie off and you just start driving forward. And all of that water will rush to the back of the canoe. The front will start to come up and you'll be able to kind of get her high enough in the water. This whole business of continuing to flip it over and back and forth, in my mind, they're wasting their time.
Yeah, I mean, unless they had something like sometimes people will have a dive tank or some kind of way to take compressed air, and when the canoe's upside down, they stick it in there and blow air into it. I mean, that's
I don't want that. But you know, it's easy to spectate this and be online and giving comments to these poor guys, but hey, every paddler's been in that situation. It's a crappy situation to be in. You do not want to be there, and you learn really quickly how to avoid that at all costs. It's very strenuous on the paddlers. It's a downer mentally. You know, they paid their entry fees. They flew to this island. They entered the race. They put a lot on the line here, and to have something like this really just kind of ruin their day. As a paddler, it sucks to see that. It really, really sucks to see that. So I'm feeling for them right now. I'm hoping, at least for their sake, they're able to solve this situation and just continue and finish. Because at this point, you know, as a paddler, when you come to the starting line, you have in your mind, I'm going to get from here to the finish line. I'm going from one spot to another. And no matter what, I'm going to get there. That's what you have in your mind the moment you leave. And at the very least, yeah, maybe you get disqualified or you lose your place or you come in last, but you finished.
Yes.
You set out with a goal or a task to accomplish, and you finished it.
That's right. Yeah, I hope they're able to do that, get some assistance in getting some of the water out and get that canoe moving along.
Our best wishes out to them, and hopefully they're able to solve this situation, likely with a little bit of help from the safety crew here at the Queen race. So as you can tell, we're kind of motoring up ahead. We're going to go check in with some of our lead boats here. When last we left, we had Wailea Canoe Club, Team Tuitonga, and Team Oceana. Those three crews in a tight grouping, all battling in their spec boats.
That's right. And not too far behind them were two other crews. One was Lani Kai. I'm not sure who the other canoe club was. We're going to have to go check and see how those two crews do, if they've been able to make some ground and close that gap, or whether that gap has become bigger. I know those top three crews were definitely pushing each other, again, playing the game of patience, of seeing each other all so close together, not wanting to expend too much energy too early, because you're going to want to save some for the end there. But they're trying to hang together. Whichever one of the three is in front is trying to get away from the other two, but the other two are trying to all stay tight pack and not let that lead boat get any more ground on them.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick look at what we were watching earlier. Crew 500. We're just looking back in the pack from our other boat. This looks like it may be a juniors crew. 599. Crew 599. Might be a juniors crew here.
Okay, Canoe 59 is Halai'a Ariger, the junior men. It's a juniors crew, age 15
yeah,
to
juniors
18.
crew from Haleiwa on Oahu.
North Shore of Oahu. And while you guys are looking at that, we're moving ourselves back up to the front of the pack to see what's going on. Hopefully we can bring your eyes back up here with us soon.
Nice work from this juniors crew from Haleiwa, Oahu. Look at those young boys getting out there and giving it all off of the Kailua coast here. Great work from this juniors crew. That's a long way to paddle as a high schooler.
You know, these guys are making it look easy.
All right, good work for that juniors crew. Katie, again, we have a huli back there in a koa canoe that's happening. We have our whole field battling it out there, and now we are making our way towards the leaders who we've caught up just now, and it seems like we still have Wailea in the lead, a lead that they've opened up a bit on the two boats behind them. We still have Tuitonga in second place and Oceania just a couple of boat legs behind them, and so it's still a fairly tight race going into Kona town, and Wailea has probably about a 5 to 6 boat length lead on these other two, but this is a race that is far from over, Katie.
Far from over. I've seen the Tuitonga now has pulled ahead a little bit of Oceania, but they're not far enough ahead that they're comfortable by any means. I mean, these guys from Oceania, I'm sure, could put on the burners at some point and pull back up. So it's going to be a tight race. And yeah, Wailea has put a bit of a gap here. They've probably got 8 or 10 boat lengths on these other guys now. They're looking just as comfortable as they were before, but they've got a really beautiful, long, fairly slow stroke rate. They just are looking so incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
The view you guys got there, that's Team Oceania on the right.
It's not a really
the
fast
Tuitonga just a slight ahead there on the left.
Going on here.
And then
and they're
in
not
front of them
really
is
big
Wailea.
guys in comparison to the crew from Tuitonga, but they are looking really solid, and they are kind of moving forward nicely with Koa Krema steering in the background.
Yeah, beautiful shot of these guys here. This is the lead canoe, Wailea Canoe Club from Maui. And I really don't think the limited canoes are going to be able to catch up with these guys.
No, these guys look great, and they're doing so, and it seemingly with they're not really struggling, not a tremendous amount of effort.
Again, they're making it look easy. Very, very efficient strokes. Everybody's super smooth. And you can see back behind them a little bit. You can see the Tuitonga canoe and Team Oceania right there.
We're still here. But this Wailea crew looking good, picking it up a little bit. Nice little surf right there. Nice looking work from these guys right here. Yeah, we're trying to look on screen. What you're seeing on your screen right there, that is Team Oceania. Right in front of them is Red Bull. You can see there. So, you kind of seeing the separation. It's just a couple of boat lengths. Nothing that is a game changer. What I do notice was like last year when we did the Queen race, that former Red Bull team, the Sao Tuitonga, they seemingly refused to change their stroke rate. It was what it was. They set that pace, they do that pace, and that's it. There was not much variation in it, where it kind of felt like if they had picked up a little bit, it would have made a difference for them. Like even now, they probably have about another 6 miles to go, and with that rate, it seems like they could, make a difference.
Yeah, but then again, you're saying pick the stroke rate up while you go faster, and you're watching Wailea paddling a super slow stroke rate, and they're pulling ahead. They're pulling away.
I actually see Wailea with a little bit more variability in their stroke. They're a lot more up and down. It seems like Cole Kramer is really trying to find every little piece of water, really trying to work these guys. Adjusting their stroke to be able to give him the power when he wants it. So, Koa is one of our better steersmen out there in his generation. He's certainly one of the top, and he's finding it. He's finding it in a way that always seems effortless. Koa is a very kind of very understated, not only in himself but in the way that he paddles. He's very. You have to really watch him to see the small things that are happening constantly.
Yeah. And today, the small things are what's going to count. They're going to add up, and every little small thing. It's not you're going to catch some big, huge ocean swell that's going to push you ahead suddenly, and you're going to gain 3 boat lengths in something. It's going to be a little thing and a little thing and a little thing. And again, it goes back to the patience of finding the little things, finding another one, and maybe somebody else has a good couple of sets, or maybe even a good 5 minutes, and they make a move on you. You got to have the patience to know that's okay. They made a move, so can we, and we can come back and regain from that.
It's patience for sure, but it's the consistency over 18 miles, being able to do that wave after wave after wave, and missing very few of them.
Yep.
We see that in a lot of racing, whether it's 100 miles in a sailing canoe, where you're just the more consistent. Everybody's catching waves, but how many of them are you missing?
Yes.
And that's kind of a lot of times the difference. It's the fine-tuning and being able to save it. I mean, these guys are probably keeping this stroke rate just enough to keep that little bit heavier canoe up on plane, upping the stroke rate as they need to, and not settling too far back down, and reserving that last. I seen this Wailea crew, they like to pick it up at the end. You watch them, that last mile and a half, they're going to turn it on. They're going to turn it on, and they're going to up that stroke, and they're going to push all the way to the end. And these guys are that fit where they have the ability to do that. They have that kind of gas tank.
That's right. Got some stuff in reserves here, even though they are continuing to pull ahead of the crews in second and third place. Even as we've sat here in the last few minutes, I've seen this gap get a little bigger. I can hear the Wailea guys talking to each other very calmly, working the water, working together. And I think they're just going to keep moving a little bit ahead. Maybe they don't have to do their final push. They might not need it, but they'll probably do it anyway. Okay, I think we're going to go back and take a look at another part of the race.
5:36, I believe that was.
Okay, this is 5-0. This is
we're kind of
Kahakai Long Beach.
Back at some of our canoes in the rear. 5-3-0.
Yeah, this is Kahakai Long Beach. This is
Long
Open
Beach.
Men's crew. Yep.
Open men's?
Yep, Open Men.
Open men from Kahakai Long Beach. Hopefully they will be seeing these guys next week as we do the coverage for the USA Championships. That's Catalina. Catalina, similar race where the women race from Newport to Catalina, but that's an overnight break, and the men race back the next day. So 2 days of coverage for that one.
That's right. And that's probably the same thing as this race, where because of the cancellation of the men's Molokai Hoi and the women's Nawahini Okekai races, you may find that there's going to be more crews at Catalina next week because of that. Crews decided, well, we can't do the last races of the season, so, hey, we're going to go paddle at Catalina, do another water change race. Okay, we're back up here towards the front. We've got Wailea is out in front, but you're looking here at Tuitonga Canoe Club and Team Oceania, who are in a tight battle for second and third. And I saw we were only like 5 minutes ago, and it looked like Tuitonga had pulled away a little bit from Team Oceania, and there was a couple boat lengths difference in between them. Now Team Oceania looks like they have pulled back up.
Well,
almost
they've not only
even.
pulled up, but they've pulled inshore. They were on the outside initially, and it looks like they kind of worked their way down.
Yeah,
so we're going to try to pull up next to them and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think Team Oceania is looking at the finish line up
move.
ahead.
They're trying to make their move right now.
Starting to make their move.
What'll be interesting to see if Red Bull responds by upping their stroke rate or changing anything with this short of a distance left to go, with another crew nipping at their heels and a first place boat just in front of them.
Yeah, I think these two crews are, the different camera angle, but they're almost even. Team Oceania is almost now even with Tuitonga. So Tuitonga is going to need to make some kind of response, I think, or Oceania will pass by them. They're both looking ahead at probably Wailea, trying to figure out if they've got enough time left in this race to catch up to them. I don't know. Wailea's actually got a pretty good gap now.
There's still a few miles here, Katie. There's still a few miles. It could be anybody's race. That is not an insurmountable distance between these second and third place crews and Wailea, but Wailea is not a crew that's going to let up, if you know what I mean, right? They're not going to just let this Tuitonga or Oceania crew kind of sneak up on them. That's not going to happen. Those five in there are too strong of paddlers, and Koa Kramer is way too akamai to let that happen. You watching him look back constantly, he's constantly gauging their course, and what he's doing at this point basically is he's going to push his guys to hold the lead and cover the steersman. He's not going to let, regardless of whether it's the best thing or not, right? Or it's the best course or not, he's going to cover those other canoes behind him, making sure that they're not trying to pull any kind of tricks out on him.
Yeah, well, the other side that I see, though, is I see these two crews right here are really pushing each other. They're trying to get, they both want at least second place. And so they're going to be pushing each other, whereas Wailea's up ahead, certainly pushing themselves, but pushing yourself alone is harder than to push yourself with someone else right next to you. So we'll see how this plays out.
But you know what? When your steersman is going, bro, they're sneaking up on us. What are you doing? Let's go. That's possible as well. We definitely are seeing. We got about 4 miles left in this race, and we are seeing both the Red Bull crew and Oceania start to pick up their stroke rate.
Yep, they're starting to see that they're entering into sort of the last section of the race here. They're going to have to do something, and they're going to have to make a move. These two crews, Tuitonga and Team Oceania, they're not going to let up. They want second. They both want to get second or first.
They both want first.
Yeah.
But I would tell you this: if our viewers are able to watch closely, there's a little bit of a swell coming from the outside, hitting the rear ama side quarter or the rear port quarter of these boats, and they're actually surfing. These top crews are able to feel that and get on it. And so you're going to watch them as they pick up the stroke rate. You're going to see the nose dive down a little bit, the rear of the canoe lift up, and they're surfing out here.
Yep,
just saw the
stroker in seat one of Oceania. He stopped and splashed himself with water. It is hot out here. They've got a little bit of a breeze coming from the outside, but it's not enough to keep you cool. It's hot. So we did see Oceania. It looked like they pulled up almost even with Tuitonga. Now Tuitonga's pulled ahead so that they're 4 or 5 seats ahead. And these guys are just going to work it from here to the end of trying to catch all these little bumps, trying to stay smooth, not spend too much energy, but putting in a little bit extra energy when you need it to try to take advantage of these little swells.
Great work from both these crews. I'd never say that they weren't tired, but these guys are competitors. They're athletes. They're experienced. All of them have been in this situation multiple times, and not just at practice. And so really, any of these crews have got what it takes to win right now.
Oh, that's right. And
it's just a matter of who's going to put it together.
We saw these 3 crews right here battling it out. Yeah. Same thing. Wailea was pulled out ahead, and I think these 2 guys were left duking it out just like they are today. So they've been not just here and not just in this type of situation, but in almost exactly this situation not that long ago.
Right.
So, yeah, and these guys are gonna hang tough. They're trying to stay calm, stay smooth and patient, but also just start to turn it on a little bit more.
And a lot can happen in 4 minutes, but at the same time, Katie, a lot can happen in 4
miles.
I think I was talking about something else. A lot can happen in 4 minutes, but a lot can happen in 4 miles. I mean, that's for a top-notch cruise like this. That's roughly only about a half an hour of racing left.
Yeah, I think it could be less than that.
35 minutes, 40 tops right now that these guys have got left, and they know it. They're seeing the harbor. They're seeing the hotels. They know where they're at, and so it's time to put it on. And it seems like this Tui Tonga crew is responding. They have just pulled ahead slightly from the Oceania, and I think it's the surfing, actually. I've seen them catch a few small bumps here, right there. There's another one. You're watching them pick it up right there.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
A little surf right there.
To watch these.
And it's not that the other crew is not surfing as well, but it seems as though Tui Tonga is surfing it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. They're holding on that wave a little bit longer.
So, it's not just the steersman, it's the other guys too, feeling the water underneath them change, feeling, oh, here comes a little bit of a push, this is now where we need to go. They're probably very quietly, subtly talking to each other, saying, okay, now go, now push, and then, you take a few harder strokes together, and that's what's going to push your boat forward quicker. So the more time that they've had to paddle together, and especially in this kind of water where the push from the ocean is subtle, but it's there, and to feel it and find it together, that's what's going to help them at this moment. I feel like they may have made a little bit of ground on Wailea too.
Yeah, I think you're right. They made a little bit of ground. I don't know if it's enough ground or if it's happening quickly enough. Yeah. So we'll let these 3 crews continue to battle it out, and we'll head back into the rest of the field here, kind of looking at our friends from Taiwan happening here. And we had some stories earlier, Katie, about this crew from Taiwan and the type of cultural exchange that they were to bring over a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah. So the people from Taiwan, they actually have 30 people with them. They have 3 different groups that have come together to travel together. One of that group is Taiwan Indigenous People Canoe Club, and so they've all come together here. They actually are here because one member of their club used to live in Hawaii, paddled with Kimokea. They moved back to Taiwan, and then he came over 2 years ago and started to teach them about outrigger paddling, got some of their clubs going. Kimokea went back again this year and was training with them again and helping them to get over to here. And he really helped them out a lot on this end too. And I saw him over there helping them rig their canoe yesterday. It was great. They've got men's crews, women's crews, and some juniors. They've got about 100 people and their kids.
Well, that's a good number.
But this is their first race outside of Taiwan.
How many canoe clubs are there in Taiwan? Like, who do they race against?
Well, I think they've got at least the 3 different groups of clubs, but they have a few clubs that are spread different places around the coastline, so they're able to get together and sometimes have some races there. But yet they haven't raced outside of Taiwan before, so this is very exciting for them. They brought some of their own media people here so that they can go back to Taiwan and share the stories and the racing with them, and hopefully get even more people interested in it there. I'm sure they'll keep their connection to Kimokea.
Who do we have here? What crew is that?
It's somebody
in on that.
racing
looks like
with
one
them.
Of our, was that Oceanside crew that we were looking at earlier? I'm not sure. We're going to try to get a number off of those guys. 509.
509 is a Team Australia 65ers. So they're age
Australia
group 65 plus.
Yeah, look at those guys.
You could probably safely call them Kapuna, but
The guys don't care as much. we're way more willing to own up to our age.
Yeah. Well, it's also respect.
Yeah.
We like seeing them up there.
All of our kupuna. All right, here we are back in the front. That is Wailea Canoe Club. They seem like, as we had talked about, they're beginning to pick it up. They know they only got a couple of miles left, and they are not giving up their lead. I continue to see Cole Kramer turning around, looking back, keeping his eye on Tuitonga and Team Oceania.
Well,
but what's interesting that has just happened back here in the second and third place of this tight race is that Oceania seems to have made their move. If we're going to switch cameras to that, where Oceania has made their move. And there you go.
Yep.
We have Team Oceania just a hair in front of Tuitonga. And this is going to be a very interesting and hotly competitive finish going in between these two crews.
That's right. I see Team Oceania doing some surfing now, too. They're starting to feel the water. Looks like they have picked their stroke rate up a little bit. They're saying, okay, we're coming up closer and closer to the finish here. You can see it, and you can start to smell the finish line from this point.
Oh, yes.
So these guys are going to be careful. They're going to start, turning it on, but you got to save enough for that last, half mile probably that these guys are going to end duking out. See, wow, they made another move right there, and now Oceania is a full boat length ahead of Tuitonga. So I'm going to see these two guys are just going to keep doing this for the rest of the race, back and forth, and it may bring them both closer to Wailea. Whether it's going to be enough that they catch them, I don't know. Wailea's got a pretty substantial lead on them, but you never know.
Yeah, they got a big lead. They're trying to chase them down, and just the fact that they're right next to each other is going to give them a little bit more of a competitive push. But in all honesty, I don't see Wailea just giving it up.
Oh, definitely not. Wailea is not going to give anything up here. And if these guys start actually creeping up on them, I think, like you said, Wailea always has this amazingly awesome, strong finish where they turn on the afterburners, and they're probably still waiting to do that until they're a little bit closer or until they feel like they really need to.
So, again, we're right up here with the lead pack, just a few miles out of Kona town where we're having our finish for this men's race. We're up with the leaders. It seems like our spec boats, our three top spec boats being Wailea in first, now Team Oceania in second, and Tuitonga in third. They are not going to be caught up by any of our unlimited boats, and these men are barreling down towards the finish line just outside the wharf, and we have the rest of the pack paddling hotly on their heels. But these three crews here are some of the top crews in the islands. Tuitonga is centered mostly around this coast of the Big Island. Wailea is in Wailea, in the Kihei area of the island of Maui. And, of course, Team Oceania around their team captain, Mario Mausio. They are based out of all over the Polynesian Triangle, so to speak. So they come in here and get together once in a while. But really, I think what we're seeing, except for if there was some kind of Tahitian influence, like a top Tahiti team, we're really seeing the three best crews in Hawaii right now battling it out.
They are battling it out. And, I've been impressed the last, maybe 10 or 15 minutes that we've been sitting up here talking, watching them, and then going back with some of our images to the canoes in the back. So suddenly we're talking about somebody else who's on the screen. That these two crews that are in second and third place here have been trading off leading each other. So we'll look and see, Tuitonga's ahead and Oceania's behind, and we're like, oh, Tuitonga's walking away from them a little bit. And then we'll start talking, we look back again, and suddenly Oceania's in front and Tuitonga's behind. And then it happens again. They've been sort of trading off with each other. Right now, it does look like Oceania is starting to walk away a little bit from Tuitonga, but I'm not going to be comfortable saying that this is a done deal back here at all, because they've been doing this for, probably the last hour or more, battling each other, trying to push each other and push themselves to cut down that gap that Wailea got in them over the past
they're
hour.
Not that far behind Wailea, and I would say it's as where I thought it was more in the neighborhood of 6+ boat lengths earlier. Now it might be only as much as 4 or 5. So we'll see. We're definitely making it a battle right here. And so we're gonna pull back and look at some of the crews a little bit farther back here. This is 559. 559 is Olelo Men's 40, Olelo Okeola Canoe Club. 559. Yep, that is Olelo Okeola Canoe Club.
They're a 40+
Not exactly
men's crew.
sure where they're from, but looking good, fellas. This is a men's 40s crew. Yeah. We got long hair and beards and all kind of stuff going on here. These guys are giving the ZZ Top look over here.
Slightly less aerodynamic, but they no care.
Oh, I don't think they're concerned about aerodynamics.
No care. Yeah, these guys look good. So if any of you guys online know where these guys are from, let us know.
Nice stroking from crew 559, Olelo Okeola.
Oh, they're from Honolulu, from Sand Island.
Oh, really? All right.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy, for joining in and commenting on us. Again, we're happy to have all of you joining us, whether it's on our Ocean Paddler Facebook page or Queen Lili'uokalani Races Facebook page, but enjoying this live coverage. Please tell your friends. We're going to have the finish of the men's race coming up real shortly here. I'll be able to see who's the top dogs in the men's race this afternoon. Just to recap, earlier in the day we had our women's races from Kailua Kona to Honau, and our top finisher was a group of ladies in an unlimited canoe from right here on the Kailua coast. That was Kai Ehitu. And behind them from Honolulu was Kalahui Kai in a spec boat coming in second place. And then our top 40s and over crew, or was it 50 40s, right? Was our top 40s crew was Aloha Unlimited, right? All right.
Yeah, women from several different islands coming together, Maui, Big Island, and Oahu. Seems like it worked pretty well for them.
Yeah.
That was a great
Speaking of
lineup.
coming together, this crew from Wailea Canoe Club has got it going on. They are looking very together. They continue to put it together, and they are working their way as a crew towards a really solid finish here at the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Race, which in my mind, and I'm going to go ahead and proclaim it for whatever it's worth, that this is our championship race here in the islands for 2023. If you ask me, I can't see what else race would be more pivotal or impactful or more important than this race, the 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Races.
Yeah, this has been really an impressive venue this year. So many clubs from just all over the world, all over the different islands of Hawaii come together. Just a huge outpouring of support, and everybody's helping each other. And you can, like you said, before the race, we're all friends. We get out here and maybe got some battles and competition, but the race ends, we're all friends. And you can just really see lots of camaraderie between the people. But on the race course, very competitive. All the divisions then offer competition for all kinds of people in the different canoe types, in the different age divisions. Some people doing water changes, choosing maybe wisely to do a race where you could jump in and out of the water a little bit because it's pretty hot. But,
and you can see kind of in the background there, that is our leader, Wailea Canoe Club from the island of Maui. In the background, I think you'll be able to see the other couple of canoes in second and third place just behind them. And it looks like we're closing in a little bit. Our Team Oceania and Red Bull. Team Oceania has seemingly made their move, knowing that it's now or never. They have put a couple of boat lengths distance between them and Team Tui Tonga, and Tui Tonga has yet to respond.
So I think they maybe have like 1 mile left or so, would you say? You can see the finish buoy right up there. So, yeah, this is going to be a now or never type of thing. Like, what have you got left in the tank? It's time to use it right here. Oceania is going to do everything they can to close this gap on Wailea and make sure they lengthen this gap on Tui Tonga. Tui Tonga is going to need to find something in response if they want to stay on Oceania. It does look like both of these crews are closing in a bit on Wailea, but the lead that Wailea has, and I'm guessing they're going to have a little bit more for a final finish sprint here. I don't think these guys are going to catch them, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it can be really hard in the later stages of the race to beat a top-notch crew, for one top-notch crew to beat another. I think a lot of times that race is won or lost right in the middle. I think a lot of these crews land up finding each other shortly after the start. They battle it out, they feel each other out, and at a certain point somewhere there in the middle of the race, somebody pulls ahead. And once you start pulling ahead and you've done it for a good half an hour, it's hard for that crew behind you to really
Positions
respond.
are established.
Everybody has kind of not shot their load, but they've given a certain part that they're unable to keep giving at that level. And so it's hard sometimes to know when to give it, when to respond. You know, I've seen this Tui Tonga crew respond from the back before in other races like Sydney Harbor. They had a crew that was in front of them. They let it go, and then they hunted them down. So, yeah. But right now, this is our Team Oceania crew right here, looking good. Seems like they've picked up their race, and they're catching little bumps there. Katie, you can see it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is not your glassy, flat ocean that we sometimes find here in Kona. I've raced here before when you're looking over the edge and you can see your reflection and you can see the coral in the bottom of the ocean and you start getting mesmerized.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa, wake up, I'm battling, I'm racing. But this is, right now, these guys have got some swells to use and
Yep.
they're working it. Team Oceania is really, you can see them pushing on these bumps.
Yep. And staying focused is a big part of it. You know, sometimes in the middle of the race, you're a little bit fatigued. The mind can drift off. You know, like you said, you're looking at the coastline. You're being memorized by the repetitive, mesmerized by the.
See,
I'm
you got mesmerized too.
By the repetitive nature of the sport, and you kind of get in a trance. But helping keep yourself out of that, staying focused, staying aggressive, staying hungry throughout the 2 hours of this race is not always easy.
Yeah, I was seeing Team Oceania continue to pull away from Tui Tonga. And you said these guys have come from behind before, so definitely not over yet. With they've probably
it's getting pretty darn close.
Maybe a little less than a mile to go, but I see Team Oceania looking ahead at Wailea, really gunning for them, really using what they can of this water, working together on these little bumps.
Oh, yeah, Katie, there's not a lot of real estate left here. Look at that. They are probably, this is the second place crew. With that first place crew up in the front of them there, you can see that. And they are zeroing in on that finish line. There is not a lot of time left here. It looks like Oceania made their move on Red Bull when they needed to and have just begun to walk away.
Yeah, this is actually impressive after watching those two crews really, I mean, they were with Wailea, but Wailea had pulled ahead and kind of established their lead, and then these two crews continued to battle back and forth, and one would be in front of the other, constantly fighting for that second place position. And it's like every time we looked away and came back, then the other crew had pulled ahead. So now I think this is more established that Team Oceania has really pulled far enough away from Red Bull that Red Bull is not going to catch back up to them. But we're watching Team Oceania see Wailea up there and try to hunt them down, or at least close this gap as much as they can before they get to that finish line. Now we're probably half a mile away from the finish, so that's probably going to be too big of a job to actually catch Wailea, but they're... So looking back in the field, it looks like we had another canoe, Huli. Looks like these guys are riding it. But this canoe is probably out of the water enough that they're going to be able to bail it out. 640. And we're going to look up and see who that was. It looks like this is the Yeah Boys from Keaukaho Canoe Club, a 9-man open men's crew. So sometimes with the 9-man crew, you start changing people out, and it's not quite like the iron race where you get people in, you start paddling, and you can kind of lock into that smooth with each other, and you don't have things that are going to happen that are going to upset the boat as much. Where you're changing the 9-man, you've got people jumping out, you've got new people jumping in, and so sometimes it's harder to really find that rhythm together quickly. So in some ways it might be a little bit more common or easy for something like this to happen. So we're going to pan back up to the front. You guys are looking at Team Oceania. Right now, second place. They are pushing to try to close this gap to Wailea Canoe Club, who is up in the front. I don't think there's enough real estate left for them to make that happen, but they are continuing to pull away from Team Tuitonga, the Red Bull guys. So I think it's going to be pretty well established here that Wailea are going to come in first. Wailea's open men, Team Oceania's open men in second place in the spec boat, and right behind them is Tuitonga.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Wailea is, a few hundred yards away from the finish line. This spacing is going to be about even between first and second and third. There are no other canoes in the pack behind them that is truly noticeable. These three crews definitely established themselves as the front runners, the top dogs on the Kona coast today. But really, give it to Wailea. They are looking great. There is a huge break between these three crews and everybody else behind them. Yep. So now we're continuing to follow Team Oceania, who just had an impressive little spurt of paddling over the last couple of miles, where they really have caught up on this Wailea Canoe Club a little bit, but more importantly, they have left behind Tuitonga and secured easily their second place finish.
Yep, they're continuing to pull away from Tuitonga. I guess they're just having a stronger finish here. I don't know if they had tried to do this earlier, whether they would be more likely to catch up Wailea. They may have been able to plan this well and say, this is going to be the time to go. We're going to give it all we got between here and the finish. So they may have correctly judged what they had in the tank. But Wailea by no means would ever give this up. They've definitely picked their stroke rate up a little bit here at the end.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But they are looking super smooth as they come into the end.
Oh, yes.
It's just like a repeat from last year, I think.
So that's Wailea you're seeing there at a distance from our drone. And again, they, once they hit where you can see right in the midst of Kona town, it seems like Koa Kramer gives them the signal, and they pick up that stroke rate, from high 60s to like a mid 70s or even higher. And they're really kind of giving it now. They are paying the insurance right now to make sure that they are the winners. Last thing they want is to huli at this point or have any kind of unforeseen disaster. But right now, this crew is looking really, really solid. Coming into that finish line, they know they're in the lead. They know they're not only first overall, but first in their division as well. And so here they are coming in across the finish line.
You saw them.
Few yards here. We have the whole gang of people come to witness this amazing paddling feat. You see them all lined up on the wharf there to see the finish of this race. And congratulations to Wailea Canoe Club and steersman Koa Kramer for their win here overall and in the spec division at the 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Canoes Races. And look at that welcome there being given along the pier here in Kailua, Kona, being cheered on by all the onlookers, and they are not letting up. Congratulations to these gentlemen from Maui on this win here today in a very strong finish. And congratulations, gentlemen.
My guess is that was just slightly over 2 hours, maybe
probably slightly over
2:05
2
or
hours.
2:10. Yeah.
So now right behind them we have Team
Oceania
coming in. A couple of their crew members live right here on the Big Island. So I got 1:45 roughly.
Oh wow!
And we started at 11:45, so it's right about 2 hours. You're right, Katie. Yeah. Maybe about 15 minutes or so faster. I'm not sure if they broke the 2 hour mark officially or not. That'd be impressive to see. So right here, our crew from Oceania Canoe Club coming in second place overall and in the spec division. And they are, again, getting a hero's welcome here at the wharf in Kailua, Kona. All right. And we're going to hear another big welcome here for these boys because they are local favorites. This is Team Tui Tonga coming in third place. We're going to catch them from a nice shot in our drone. Again, here is Tui Tonga sliding into the finish line. This crew from right here on the Big Island of Hawaii, they're going to definitely get a welcome for their tremendous effort they had today. A really strong finish and a strong performance today from Tui Tonga, a crew that is like a phoenix, keeps reinventing itself with the same few core guys.
And continues to always do well, of course.
Yeah.
Those same guys. Now, what's impressive is these guys have just crossed, but there is quite a gap back to fourth place. That's probably at least a half a mile that they've got between.
Easy half mile.
Easy half mile.
Not more.
Fourth place. Then.
All right. What a great finish. And a couple of things I noted there was Wailea took it early enough to be able to hold it. And Oceania made that last move in enough time to be able to hold on to that. So really some strategy on when and where to push. And these guys, great race today. Great race today from our crew from Wailea, destroying them some shakas right there. And they are all in red, supporting their friends and family from Lahaina. Again, Maui in a rough spot recovering from that disaster that happened in Lahaina town. And in honor of that, Wailea's crew winning here today with their red jerseys on, showing support for everyone in Lahaina and staying Lahaina strong. And so as we are looking back and waiting for the fourth canoe to finish up, they're at least still a half a mile back. All right, we have
this is going to be Lanikai
on screen, kind of working their way in here.
That's going to be Lanikai.
That looks like Lanikai. Yes, that's Lanikai Canoe Club.
Yeah, with Carl Chesnack Jr. steering. We identified Andrew Penny, a continued fixture in canoe paddling, many-time champion. Those guys, you're looking at Lanikai in fourth. So they've been paddling. Well, they've got a bit of a gap, too, on the next crew. So it looks like they've been paddling kind of by themselves for a while. They were able to pull away from another canoe that we saw them kind of duking it out with for the first maybe half of the race. And they've been, looks like, paddling by themselves, but able to push themselves well and get away from the other crews that were around them. So I wonder.
Yeah, a nice drone shot of nice drone follow cam of Lanikai Canoe Club right there.
Yep. So we will have at least 4 spec boats finished before we see an unlimited canoe.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see at what position overall the first unlimited canoe come in. I know when we last saw them, congratulating our Oceania guys as they go by. Yeah, I think that the last time that we saw the unlimited canoes, it was there was a Wailea canoe, and there was another one that they were battling with. It was maybe Keoho or somebody. there was at least 2 or 3 unlimited canoes that were kind of
in the front, yeah.
kind of in the front and battling together.
Was Puna, right? Was Puna in one unlimited boat? And Wailea, their second team.
Yep, and then there was a third one that was a little bit further outside. So we'll see what's happened in that race and where those guys end up in overall setting finishing.
It still looks to me like these top crews here are all going to be
all spec boats.
Spec boats, yeah. The top 6.
Yeah. So you guys are looking again at Lanikai Canoe Club from the island of Oahu, windward side, coming in 4th place overall.
Lanikai Canoe Club.
And they will be a 4th place open canoe. I believe they're open.
4th place open, yes. 4th place open, 4th place overall. Nice effort here. Karel Tresnick in the back. Some young guns up front there. It's hard for us to tell all the names of the paddlers. A lot of time they don't fill out the crew manifest as they should. But just from knowing some of these guys, that's Andy Penny in 3. Again, that guy is a powerhouse. That is a specimen of a human right there. He does not get tired.
He is a big, strong guy, and I also saw him run a very fast marathon. I think he got a 3:09, which is a really good time, and he's
a crazy time for a guy with that amount of muscle on him.
Yeah,
Andy
quite
Penny
impressive.
is a machine.
Next crew coming across
here.
Here.
It's our first place in the unlimited.
Yes.
And is this Wailea as well?
I think this is Wailea.
Yeah, this is Wailea as well.
Wow,
Wailea. First place in the unlimited and overall. 663. Wailea Canoe Club. Yeah, boys. Oh, Maui strong for sure, huh?
That looks like Lopaka in C5.
Yeah, Lopaka's in 5, yep.
Yeah, we do a sailing canoe with him. He's an awesome guy.
Wow, awesome. First place unlimited.
Okay, here comes another spec
canoe.
Is this the Kauai boys with
guys.
Luke Evslin steering?
Yep. Kauai Va'a. This is Luke Evslin steering this crew right here. Kauai Va'a.
That is a great finish.
I believe they are.
So they're going to be 5th.
6th overall, 5th in the unlimited open. Spec open.
5th in spec.
Luke Evslin steering them. He is one of the founding fathers of Kamanu Composites, and now is a city councilman, right, on the island of Kauai.
Yes, he is. County councilman.
County council. And here we go. This is our 2nd place unlimited, the gang from Puna. Puna Canoe Club in their unlimited. 8th overall, 2nd in the unlimited. Nice work, gang. Nice work. And behind them, that's going to be the team Hulakai. That's the...
It's a 50-plus men's crew.
We're just watching our Puna guys finish there across the line. You can see all of our spectators here just lining the wharf here at Kailua Kona, cheering on our finishers. And this is our first age group team here. 50s and over coming in their yellow Hulakai boat. This is Team Koa Kona, a 50-plus group here coming in.
Yep.
And there they are on your screen.
We got to give a shout out
to all those crew members, steered by Bruce Sayal. Who we got in there?
We also got Pat Vaughn, Jerry Bess, June Belonga, Mike Andrade, and Troy Parker. Boy,
nice work.
Amazing showing for 50 plus.
Uncles, way to go.
50 is the new 30.
Those guys are all 50 plus. Coming in top 10 over here.
And once again, that does not mean that they're all in their 50s. They could be older than that. It just means they're over 50 years old. They probably don't want to really tell us their age.
Yeah. Nice work from those guys.
Coming into our next spec boat here.
627. 627, open now. Waikiki Outrigger Canoe Club.
This is Outrigger Canoe Club.
Outrigger Canoe Club from the island of Oahu.
There's George Wilson steering. Yeah, good showing by them. So
how many finishes have we had?
No. So another
nice
small gap of after those guys finished. Yep.
Definitely time for celebration here all across Kona town. We have our spectators line up to really trying to see. Let's take a quick look at that crowd. Everybody gathered up there on the wharf, and even if you go higher with our drone, you'll be able to see how deep this pack of people on the wharf there is. We're coming right along the edge. Everybody give the drone cam to all of our gang over there. Anybody watching, you can go ahead and wave at the drone.
That's how many crews we had raced.
There they are, waving.
Both men's and women's.
Yeah. A lot of these, I'm sure the women's crews that raced earlier today came down to support their men, but there's also lots
see
of
how many folks
locals,
are really lined
yeah.
up here on this wharf. Wow. Great work over there. Sorry, we're just taking a quick stop to be able to cheer on some of our friends over here. Some great performances here by the young men of Outrigger Canoe Club and the old men of Nakoa Kona.
That's right.
All right. And here we go. Another crew coming in.
Looks like
this
another
is
Puna crew. Yeah.
Puna's open crew. Again, like we had mentioned earlier, Katie, Puna Canoe Club is really on the up, man. They have been definitely continue to put together some really competitive teams.
Really, and like several crews are very competitive. So their club has got quite depth to it right now.
Yep, definitely. They what was that? Second in the unlimited and top 10 in the spec.
It looks like a Huinalu Canoe Club from Oahu.
Is this Huinalu Canoe Club? Huinalu Canoe Club there. We're going to start having a whole bunch of canoes coming across the finish line now. We're going to be doing our best to call out as many of them as possible. But really, this is where it starts to get really Billy. This is Kamehameha Canoe Club from Hilo that we saw earlier. We followed them for a while. These brothers put together a really good race out here today.
662. That number belongs to the open men crew of Kailua.
That's Kailua Canoe Club. Kailua Canoe Club from the east side of Oahu. They are finishing their open men.
Looks like they had a battle with those two crews pushing each other.
Tough battle going through those two guys. So some good competition in different parts of the field today. Those guys just recovering, trying to crest their breath right now.
And as we look back here, there's going to be two more canoes coming in. And this is another race within the race. These two crews pushing each other. I think this is going to be our first koa. First koa canoe
looks
coming.
like we got our first koa canoe club. First koa canoe there, battling with another unlimited crew from Kai'ehitu. And these two are really turning it on, man. Look at this. They are battling it out all the way to the finish line. Our first koa.
Well, the crowd is really cheering them on. Oh, tight
wow,
battle.
what a push.
Wow.
Nice work. That's always very inspiring to see that kind of work. Yeah, that was Kai'ehitu 40s in the unlimited. It's Kamehameha Canoe Club. Oh, Keoa Honau Canoe Club is the koa.
Two local crews right there. They probably know each other, or at least some of each other, and so that pushed them to battle even tighter, I bet. This looks like another Puna crew
coming in here. Is that what I see? I think this first one here coming in all green, that's Leeward Kai Canoe Club.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
West side Oahu.
Koa steering right there, Kikoa. And another unlimited canoe club. That's our first, that's the guys from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
In that Are canoe, the Matahina.
That's awesome. We were watching them earlier.
They did a really nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hong Kong VRC. And who are these guys? Oh, some Tahitians, huh? Keoua. Nice. Another unlimited canoe coming across the line here.
Here's 637. 637 belonging to the
There we go, 637.
Yeah, they were called Paddling for Hope. Men's
There
40
we go.
plus
Kyle Poole
unlimited.
coming in on their unlimited canoe here. This is Kyle Poole coming across the line in the white and brown canoe. We're going to hopefully get some footage of them coming across from our drone.
Wow, awesome finish. Look at these guys.
Yes, being steered by
Sprinting.
Kanua right there.
And 639.
639, is that
Open men. Yeah, boys.
Keokaha Canoe Club right there. Open
From
men.
their Yeah Boys crew.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, boys.
Oh,
We
I
need
think
somebody
this,
over here calling out the crews as they come in.
This
Unfortunately, they're
might
probably
be,
on the other side.
Might be from Japan.
No, this is a juniors crew.
Oh, a
coming in
juniors
here.
crew. Why? They are doing a sprint finish.
Yeah. 18 and under.
15 to 18 from Keoho, Big Island.
Keoho Juniors. First overall in the juniors division. Keoho.
Awesome. Ooh, they got a bunch of fans over there yelling for him. That's a great.
All right, a couple more coming across here.
618
Another Koa canoe.
to 618 on the limited. Men age group 40 plus.
Namolo Kama,
Namolokama and our
40
second
plus.
place Koa.
Belonging to Keoho Canoe
Oh,
Club.
Keoho Canoe Club. We were watching them earlier with their safety shirts. Great finish by these guys.
We have our another unlimited canoe coming in here.
I don't remember seeing these guys earlier. I would have noticed these striped shirts.
They look like they just got out of prison.
This is Heilani from Oahu.
They probably did. Just,
682.
yeah, Keapai Aina in two right
That's our
there.
limited open men from Heilani Canoe Club.
Heilani Canoe Club.
Okay, another spec boat followed by another unlimited canoe.
658. Open men's. The Wailea Canoe Club.
This is open men from Wailea. So third crew from Wailea we saw come across here. That's awesome.
632.
And there's a looks
that
like
Queen
another
Lili'uokalani as well?
Huinalu.
Men's age group 40 plus.
Yeah.
The not so old guys from Huinalu Canoe Club.
Sure.
Okay, that's a 40 plus for crew from Huinalu. I could see Gavin over there steering.
Devin Hanoa steering
Yep.
that 40-plus crew from Huinalu Canoe Club. A lot of great finishes here today. Guys pushing strong all the way through, even if they're not, going to be on the podium or having any kind of win. But this is what it's all about, really. I mean, these guys just giving all they got, throughout the race here, finishing strong. This is a great length of course. 18 miles, a roughly 2-hour-plus race is not so much that you're totally breaking down, but it's a good distance. It's certainly it can be a Herculean effort for sure, but not so much that we are over the top.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a far enough course that you can really leave it all out there on the course and come in and expend all you've got. It's long enough that you're sprinting off the front, then you're settling in, pacing yourself, and then you're pushing again for that finish where
Team
you probably
Australia
got some
coming
other
in here.
canoes around you.
Team Australia, and is this? Yeah, I think this
687
is
crossing the finish line now.
Manu Kekai?
Mano Kikai.
Yeah, North Shore of Oahu. Glenn Williams steering?
Yeah, Mano Kikai right there.
Canoe Club.
So actually, that's a mixed crew of 3 guys from Lani Kai and 3 guys from Manuoke Kai.
Oh, nice.
I remember I saw Kavika yesterday. He told me he was in
They
that
put it
crew.
together nicely.
So that's a 50s crew. Yeah.
Nice.
They did awesome.
Another strong 50s crew. Here's another bunch of distinguished gentlemen.
It's like Lani
coming
Kai.
in.
677
Lani Kai.
Yeah.
crossing the finish line
It's
right
Lani Kai's
now.
50s.
677. That's the men age group 60 plus.
Oh,
Scotty.
60s.
Scotty Frieda steering that.
60s. Oh, those guys are strong, man. Coming in.
547 crossing the finish line right now. 547 belonging
Kiowa.
to
Keo Hono no.
Queen Lili'uokalani. 525.
The shirt said
Is
Pi'okole.
Queen Canoe Club.
Yeah.
619.
Oh, it's a juniors crew. Yeah, that's it. That's the Kai Oahu Kai juniors right there.
Kalahui Kai Juniors right there,
Kai.
yeah.
Yep.
Kalahui Kai Juniors coming across. Those are some young guys on a heavy canoe.
Yep. And finishing right there, another unlimited.
Of Keala Ikahiki. Kai Oni Men.
Keala Kahiki.
681.
Puna Canoe Club right there coming in.
Donkey Chasers.
The Keoho Donkey Chasers.
Keoho Donkey Chasers, huh? Hilarious.
So this race you can state the club you're from, but you can also pick your crew name, and some of these crews have been very creative today. Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah, boys is a good one.
Or Hold My Beer.
Hold My Beer. Donkey Chasers.
And now we've got a group of 4 canoes coming. Going to be a little battle coming here. Sprinting in. Whatever you got left, leave it on the water.
Crews to go.
Looks like we have a spec boat, a Koa boat, and 2 unlimiteds.
566. Belongs to Kai Elua. Kai Elua Open Canoe Club.
Kai Elua,
Kailua.
first canoe across.
It's a battle.
Nice work coming across the finish line there for these guys in the Koa canoe, battling with a couple of unlimited.
Kihei Canoe Club. Kihei.
It's another Huinalu crew.
641 was after that. Open men's from Kauai High Canoe Club.
We're just continue to hang out right here at the finish line and watch canoes come across. But again, our top 3 finishing canoes were Wailea from Maui, and second it was Team Oceania, and third Tuitonga from right here on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Like it is.
We're approximately little under 2.5 hours since the beginning of this race, so pretty good times these guys put down today. I'm curious if that first place boat was able to break the 2-hour mark. If so, if not, it was close.
I'm also looking here for our first mixed crew because we got open and 40s mixed with this
right?
group.
40 mixed.
Yep. And it could be that some of these spec boats were 9-person crews. I think they were probably all iron, but it could be that 9-person crew snuck in there somewhere.
See what I can do. Check.
Looking at another.
We're looking for.
unlimited.
We had our first international crew come in. That was Victoria Recreational Club. There was the Hong Kong gang from Hong Kong. Looking for some more of our international crews coming across the finish line here. Coming in here, unlimited. It's difficult for us to call out the numbers as the stickers are all on the opposite side of the canoes for us.
628 open man.
628, that's Outrigger Canoe Club in their unlimited. A lot of new personnel over there at Outrigger Canoe Club.
612. That's the Koa open man from Keaukaha. Mango Tree Climbers.
Mango Tree Climbers.
From Keaukaha, in the Koa.
Keaukaha Canoe Club. A lot of fun names here today.
A lot of fun names.
Mango Tree Climbers.
Makes me want to find some of these guys later.
Kiahiakoi.
Ask them how they picked that name.
Kiahiakoi coming in here.
638.
Oh, a little battle here with 2 unlimited canoes coming in right behind a spec boat.
Kiahiakoi from Kahaluoahu. Another Heilani crew.
Team Canada. There's your next international team right
there's
there.
our international Canada crew coming in.
683 belongs to unlimited band Heilani Canoe Club.
Heilani Canoe Club.
Comes, looks like a Kaiopua canoe.
Open man Hokualele Canoe Club. 696.
Nice work by this
Men's
crew.
age group 50 plus.
Fif-
Kaiopua Canoe Club.
Kaiopua
50
Canoe
plus.
Club, 50 plus.
606.
Nakaivalu.
Unlimited open man from Nakaivalu Canoe Club.
Maui Strong. I love that. Nakaivalu is a crew out of Maui wearing their Maui Strong jerseys. Pretty cool.
Number 9, the Singapore Battle Canoe Club.
Hey, there's another one of our internationals at Singapore Canoe Club in that orange and yellow unlimited canoe coming across the finish line.
Oh, that's right. Singapore. Awesome.
Kaipua Onipa'a.
It looks like this is our first, no, this is our juniors crew.
Yep. Another juniors in the unlimited division. This is Kalahui Kai.
Kalahui Kai.
Another Huinalu unlimited canoe coming in here.
6, 3, 4.
It's like Timmy Twig-Smith stroking up
Yeah,
there.
Timmy Twig-Smith. That's Huinalu coming in there. Men's 60s. Huinalu Canoe Club.
Here comes another battle between a spec boat and an unlimited canoe.
Nice battle coming here across the line.
Ooh, that is a photo finish. 600.
Nice
It's
push
like
from
Puna,
those gentlemen.
Puna here on the inside, isn't that? Yeah, Puna.
Okai.
Lili'uokalani Canoe Club from the island of Maui in that yellow and green boat.
And this is Puna in the green.
Yeah, and Puna in the green.
666. Unlimited open man, Puna. 614.
50. This is another Heilani Canoe Club team coming in here.
Boy, hey, Lonnie has some fun jerseys
Yeah,
this year.
Heilani got some. Whoever's doing their design is great. They got some good jerseys, man.
Canoe Club 591. Age group 60 plus.
This is
Kukui Ula.
60 plus Kukui Ula from. That's from Kauai,
Kauai,
yeah.
yes.
Kukui Ula, yep, on the south side of Kauai.
Yeah, awesome job, guys. Another
Again here, next gang coming in.
unlimited. Look how well they match their tea leaves to their canoe.
Going into the 60 plus men's from Kauai. Hama. Kaiola Canoe Club.
No, Olokama.
19. Open man. Nahoapili OK Kai Canoe Club.
Comes another spec boat.
Six, 1, 7. Open man.
Open men 617.
Open man.
Namolokama, open
Now
man.
Molokama.
Oh, it looks like Eric
From
Rafter
Kauai.
steering.
It is Eric Rafter steering. He made it. He's still alive. Can't believe that guy is still alive. Looking good, Rafto.
The rest of the crew's lucky they're still alive with Eric Rafter steering.
7. Open man. Kahakai.
Kahakai.
Wonder where they're from. They look like an international crew or from mainland, U.S. somewhere.
6, 5, 4. That belongs to the open men of Ivan Keli'i.
Boy, first crew with no shirts.
Aihitu, first crew with no shirts.
691. That's a 40 plus mixed. Honoura Canoe Club.
Another Koa canoe coming across. And another one about to cross. This looks like a Kaiopua Koa boat coming across right now.
Something.
Open men Koa.
That's Koa.
And this looks like maybe our first mixed crew.
Yep, and our first mixed crew right here.
Open man. Kaiopua. 560. Mixed open crew. 560. Te Liuva'a.
Do you hear that was from?
551. West Coast Paddling Association. 626.
It might have. Yeah, I was saying that the mixed crew. They said I thought they said Liuva'a, so it might have been a Tahiti crew.
Manu Okekai. 570.
Monuoke Kai finishing.
Open men's Kilohana Canoe Club.
All right, here we have another koa canoe. Actually, we've had a bunch of koa canoes coming in earlier. We haven't got a response yet how that one koa canoe that went down earlier that had a huli, how they fared. But this is team 653, Kaino Holokai is the name of their from Hanalei Canoe Club. We have another
Unlimited men's age 40 plus.
Lokahi Canoe Club.
Lokahi Canoe
Lokahi Canoe Club coming across there, and they're 40 plus in that in the unlimited green, blue, and gray canoe.
And that was Red Hot Chili Pepper Water. That was
Red
that
Hot Chili
crew.
Pepper Water.
I think there needs to be an award for most creative crew name.
I don't know. It's
It'd be hard to choose.
Hard to choose. Hold my beer. That was pretty good.
Here comes Kaiopua, Unlimited.
Unlimited men's age 60 plus.
Men's 60 plus.
60 plus, man.
Wow.
Those guys are powerful, man. Look at that. They look top shape, boy.
38.
Wow.
Open men crew. Marissa Mai men. 607. Looks like a koa to me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice koa.
Plus Hoimana. Hoimana Canoe Club.
Hoimana Canoe
Hoimana
Club.
Canoe Club.
They have sort of a
Yeah.
almost
A brown motif going on.
Right.
Another crew from
UPS.
Lanikai coming in here. This might be another age crew.
50 plus.
50 plus, Lanikai.
Lanikai Canoe Club.
Alan Carvalho steering that boat. Continue to have just a ton of crews crossing the line here.
Unlimited open men's Royal Hong Kong Yacht Club.
Yeah, another Hong Kong crew coming across the line in that green canoe. Keho Canoe Club, barring their unlimited that is from Hong Kong, a crew from Hong Kong.
This looks like a juniors crew.
Yeah, another juniors crew coming across the line.
685. 685 junior boys, age group 15 to 18. Keho, Big Island.
Yeah, Keho putting it together.
Yeah,
They have
awesome
a great
showing.
kids program going
Boy,
on.
look at how young the steersman looks.
I know the steersman's got to be like, what, 14? Some young guys out there.
Yeah, awesome showing here from teams all over the world, juniors. We've only seen one mixed crew so far, I
Is this
think.
Kumulokahi maybe?
Well, it seemed like they might have been from Tahiti.
Turn their crews.
Anai Ho'omalu is the name of this canoe.
971.
Named after an area, good fun surf break down the street.
Kumulokahi.
Hey, yep, that is Kumulokahi.
Kumulokahi.
Elks.
92.
Nice work, Kumulokahi.
Both Kalai and I are members of the Elks Club. Supporters,
Yeah.
Kumulokahi.
Kiaya Kohoi.
Ahiakahoe Canoe Club. 656. You're feeling
Another.
it.
Yeah.
5-6. Unlimited open men. Tabule. Coyote men.
Coyote men, open men, and that gray unlimited there.
Be careful. Do not impede the other canoes as they come in, please.
Another spec boat coming in here. White canoe,
One,
green
two.
shirts.
Open men. Spam and eggs.
Yeah, spam and eggs.
River Canoe Club.
All the way from Seattle. Spam and eggs.
Spam
huh?
and eggs.
Hey, at least they knew the right breakfast meat to pick on this one. Spam and eggs all the way from Seattle. Nice.
Comes another unlimited canoe.
Kumulokawa. Some interesting paddles. Look at those paddles.
Johnny Mac. Hawaiian Canoe Club.
Look at
Hawaiian
look
Canoe
at those
Club
trippy
from
looking paddles they got.
Maui.
Neck and neck.
See that?
They said they're holo holo. Oh, here we go. A mixed crew.
Another mixed crew.
18. Kokahi's Imi Ola Juniors.
Yep. And another mixed crew there. A couple of mixed crews coming across the line here.
500. Our very first one.
Another Hong Kong VRC club, VRC crew coming in.
Capital Area Outrigger.
National Capital Area was that mixed crew. And then this looks like a Hong Kong mixed crew. So it looks like that was our second and third place mixed crews that just came across. Oh, awesome showing for them. Hong Kong had some great crews today.
Some really great racing. I love how everybody, regardless of where they placed overall, regardless of where they are, who's in their club, how long it's taking them, any of that stuff, they're all pushing hard across the finish line, showing some real competitive spirit. I like to see that out here.
That's right. They've got a little race within the race at the finish. They're sprinting into the end, leave whatever they got left out on the water.
Yep, looks like another Huinalu crew.
That's unlimited men's
Huinalu age group.
guys. Huinalu Canoe Club.
Huinalu old guys, 50 plus.
617. That's men's age 40 plus. All Queens men. Keaukaha Canoe Club.
Keaukaha 40 plus crews in the brown canoe.
All right,
Another
just pulling
sprint.
off.
That's open men. Lanikai open men.
It's Lanikai Open Men
Lanikai's-
crew.
7 on the outside. That's 40 plus team Onipa'a. Keaukaha Canoe Club.
Keauho Canoe Club 40 plus in the white boat.
Kako.
Open men. American Dragons.
American Dragons from Singapore.
Dragons. Singapore.
Right there in the green and yellow canoe with the pink shirts.
Ah, nice work, Singapore. Again, it's great to see the international participation, all these crews coming from all over the world. But notably, our top finishers from right here, mostly in the islands. I know that Team Oceania is made up of, I see paddlers there from Australia, from New Zealand, of course, all over the South Pacific. Not so much, I don't know how many of them were actually from Tahiti, but a couple from here right in the islands. And so they had international representation. But our first place crew was Wailea. Second place was
Team Oceania.
Team Oceania, who and then third place was Tui Tonga. Some of the guys from our past Red Bull Va'a. But we also had Wailea.
Treeway.
Wailea winning the Unlimited division in a really strong flavor.
Boy, that was some tough finish
was
right there.
really
You
cool,
see,
right?
these
Really cool
crews
finish
clearly
between,
knew that none of them were in the same
outrigger.
division. We had a mixed crew, we had a limited crew, and we had a men's crew on the side, and they were all pushing themselves right across that line. Just a little bit of pride left there in the end that you want to try to beat that canoe next to you. That was really fun to see. Another paddlers of Laka coming across.
650.
Hey, look, Ron Barron. Another 60 plus.
Kamehameha Canoe Club Hilo.
There was Kamehameha Canoe Club Hilo, and then in the blue canoe,
Here's the Haunani and Friends.
Haunani and Friends. And we saw our
That little
friend
canoe
Ron
club
Barron
coming across right
stroking
there.
the
That
front.
looked like Randy Cates. I'm sorry, Robbie Cates steering that canoe across.
Okay, thank you. 611. Hello, Master 60 plus. Sorry, Kane.
Wow, look at that. Everybody kind of hanging out there on the pier. You can watch all of the crews come in, some of them catching a little wave across the finish line. But, man, there are quite a few people turned out here to watch the finish of this race, and the historic 50th time we've been able to see this canoe race.
And here we have another Koa canoe coming into the finish. Awesome to see more of these coming across.
Here's a Koa.
Yep, another Koa canoe coming across over here.
670. That's Koa Open Men's. Uiva'a o Waiakea.
We have our team from Japan coming across the finish line here.
Chichi.
Nice look from our men from Japan there.
Nagasaki Outrigger Canoe Club.
Shingasaki Outrigger Canoe.
Yeah, and I know Ocean Paddler interviewed their steersman yesterday, so I'm looking forward to seeing the show and hearing everything he had to say.
Ooh, a good race right here.
Neck and neck.
Oh, wow. Wow, tough push there.
Big effort from those guys.
177. Alawai. AC. Kamehameha Oahu. 530.
Looks like another Puna canoe.
Yep.
Long Beach.
Maka'iolani.
542. Mountain Home. CC Tangerine.
These guys are making up all kind of different names for their crews out here.
Fun
it's
names.
pretty funny. Keeping it lively, keeping it fun.
Open Man Leeward Kai Canoe Club.
But really, I would argue this is the championships right here. Our top crews that we saw today are the top crews you're going to have. As we were talking about earlier, Wailea Canoe Club not only did great in states, they did the regattas. They did great today, not only in the overall spec division, but they won unlimited as well. Pretty tough showing from them.
And they won the men's Duke race a few weeks ago over on the island of Oahu.
They won the Duke's race.
Long distance water change race.
Yeah,
so they
easily,
apparently can do it all.
Yeah, easily Wailea is our best club here in the islands this year for in the men's divisions. We also are seeing Puna did a lot, had a lot of really good. Back to see. Puna had a really good showing today with some strong clubs, not only on the men's side but the women's side as well. They were second overall, I think, in the men's unlimited division, and so we had the top three crews. Lani Kai was in fourth in the spec division, and Puna was up there too. They had another crew in there, so really, I can't see how you would disagree that this is kind of the big race for this year in Hawaii.
This is a big race, and this sort of was the proving point for Wailea, like you said, with doing so well in the regatta races, doing so well in the Duke long distance race, doing so well here in the iron race. They've really showed their versatility and sort of dominance across all of the racing types that we offer here in Hawaii.
But, I think was more important maybe, or equally as important, was the fact that they were Maui strong towards the end of their season, considering everything that has been happening to our ohana in Lahaina. Although Wailea was on the other side of the island, they were affected during wildfires on that day as well, as was Upcountry in Kula. And this crew really showed that Maui strong is here and it's here to stay. This is going to be really the race that the folks in Lahaina are facing is a marathon. And showing that they can be strong, which is a great symbolic representation of their home island.
That's right. And just the showing of support from everybody in Hawaii over the past few weeks, but also all of the people here. We had some really wonderful displays of support. Yesterday was both at dawn, sunrise, sunset, and also at noon. They did presentations here with people doing different oli and chants and allowing people from different clubs all over the world to kind of sing a song or say something in support of the people of Lahaina and of Maui. And it was really a beautiful presentation. So many groups here wearing the red, the Maui strong, Lahaina strong, and just offering support. It's just been a community within a community, I think, showing support for other people.
It's easy to say that this was, what happened in Lahaina was certainly the most serious disaster, most devastating disaster we've had in the islands in anybody's recent memory. But it wasn't necessarily the loss of things; it was the loss of life that we are still attempting to calculate at this point. So right now, what we're seeing is that it's a point. It's an event that is galvanizing our local people. Easily you can see that the majority of the real support, the majority of where that taking care of the members of our community is coming from within our community. And so that's great to see, and that's what keeps Hawaii to be a special place where when things get bad, we're going to stand up and take care of our own.
Yeah, that's great. And the show of support from people everywhere else, though, has just been really amazing to see. So it's from people everywhere, and from the people here too. Coming here and kind of talking with people that know what has happened over there and sort of learning more about it and understanding the depth of it. You just see even more support from them, emotional support, and it's been great. Still more canoes coming across, another koa boat. Boy, I've lost count now of how many koa canoes are here, and that's actually a wonderful thing.
Today, huh?
Yeah, just incredible.
We've also had just a tremendous amount of crews entered today overall, men's and women's race. As we talked about, a few hundred canoes, everybody kind of recognizing that this was the race for this year, that this was the 50th Queen Lili'uokalani race, and that making this not only the best place to race, but the best race to come to. And so we are so stoked to see this resurgence in paddling happening throughout the state. We're reporting record numbers of people signing up to be part of these canoe clubs. And so it's evidenced by all the people that are here today and how busy and big the state regatta race was. So sorry we had a little bit of a chop going on there, but we're continuing to enjoy paddling, and seeing it on an upswing is always a good thing.
It is great to see so many people getting back to the clubs after, the pandemic being over, and just getting back to enjoying paddling and bringing new friends and new kids into this, and just keeping this sport and culture going. A lot of these crews just still
come across,
pushing them
all the way across,
battles all the way.
Beach Boys.
Another mixed crew over there. Ooh, tough fights.
40 plus,
Lili'uokalani 40 mix.
Coyote Canoe Club.
Wow, long day of racing here. And we want to again thank everyone that has tuned in from places near and far on our social media pages, whether that be Ocean Paddler or the Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races Facebook page. We've had a tremendous amount of people viewing in, checking in, sending us questions, sending us shout-outs to their crews. Sorry we weren't able to get to everybody, but we'll always do our best to address all of your questions and concerns. It gets pretty crazy out here on the water. Again, we are taking our whole production studio on the road out here in the middle of the ocean, and it can be quite challenging to make all that happen. But we're so stoked to be able to make outrigger canoe paddling a spectator sport for all of you.
Yeah, reporting live for you guys has just been really great, trying to let you know what's going on up in the front and leaders in different divisions, but then also panning back and seeing who we can see.
Yeah, the challenging part for us, where we're allowed to park our vessel right now, is on the opposite side of where the numbers are placarded on the canoes. So the only way we're really able to tell what canoe is crossing is if we know somebody or we're hearing the announcer on shore saying it, because that's the side where the numbers are plastered or stickered onto these canoes. So we're doing our best. Yep. And it's hard to really bring you all of those numbers because these canoes are just coming across one after another, like these two behind us, having a great finish, battling it all the way into the finish line. So we're hoping just to bring you a great view of your favorite crew, whoever you might be watching. But we also want to make sure that you know that we're doing our best to bring you that accurate coverage.
So that was 65-plus men from Australia.
65 men from Australia.
And an open Kailua Canoe Club.
I wonder what time of day it is over there right now.
Yeah, I'm sure some of their friends are watching, probably from the pier, but also from back at home in Australia. So
of course.
They did a great job crossing with Kailua Canoe Club open crew. So strong finish from those guys. I saw them battling it out.
As you look back out towards Honau now, we still have several dozen canoes trying to make their way across the finish line. That is the great thing. About.
There's a brave person swimming through all these canoes right now.
That is the great thing about all of these entries, is that we have so many canoes finishing over time. It really is a huge armada of canoes making their way across the finish line. Oceanside Voyagers right there. Hopefully that is from Hopefully that is from Oceanside, California.
Open man, Proud Mary Canoe Club.
Oh, here's a Proud Mary Canoe Club. Awesome.
54.
This is another mixed crew coming across.
Yeah, another mixed crew.
Outrigger Canoe Club.
Kai Poha,
Kai Pohau,
mixed
nice.
crew. Looks like another age group canoe. Looks like Nawalakama.
That's a 50-plus men. NHOKK 50 men.
Oh, NHOKK.
Opili, OK Kai Canoe Club.
Nahopili.
Okay, Kai.
50 plus men.
Yeah, look at these crews still working their way across.
Another
Some
mixed
mix.
crew.
582.
Oh, no, that's not a mixed crew. That's a men's crew.
583, correction. Honolulu Pearl, Open Kane. Honolulu
Honolulu.
Honolulu Pearl from Oahu.
All right, looks like another Kiahiakahoe crew coming across the line here. Probably a 60s crew.
Hoyamana Canoe Club. 599.
Oh, heads up, heads up.
Haleiwa Outrigger, junior men.
Oh, there's a
Oh,
battle
coming in hot.
coming in hot.
Crowded.
Some great competition going on there between those three
Wow, it is
crews.
just a mashup of canoes coming across the finish line here. I hope everybody's paying attention and able to make sure that they don't have any collisions. But, man, there's a lot of crews coming in right now.
Lokahi Canoe Club. One of those crews.
Here's looks like a mixed crew coming across the finish line here.
University of Auckland mixed.
Ah, all the way from New Zealand, University of Auckland mixed. Nice work for that team from Aotearoa,
Yeah.
Auckland, New Zealand.
Awesome.
We're just about the 2:30 mark here in the islands. We started this race at 11:45. So roughly the times for these crews here about
This
2:45.
way. Over here. Turn. 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 You came all this way. Let's finish it out.
So
There you
little
go.
confusion going on the course with this crew. Not quite sure where the finish line was because they see all the other canoes headed off around the pier. So they thought maybe they're supposed to go
It
that
can
way.
be a little confusing after a long day of racing.
The announcer gave
You're
them
tired.
some good help to direct them to finish the race here.
Loco Moco. I buy it. I did it. Seattle Outrigger Canoe Club.
Seattle Outrigger Canoe Club.
They said something about I buy it, I
Loco
get it.
Moco.
Could be another creative name.
Loco Moco, I tie it. Nice work out there, gang. Wow, it's just all these canoes coming in. What you're not seeing, and maybe if we could get a shot from our drone of, is on the other side of this wharf where all the crews are trying to pull up their canoes. They're trying to pull up the canoes up on a boat ramp in a small beach on the other side of that boat ramp, way over there. And that's where they're all coming out of the water. You're going to start to see all of these six-man canoes lining that small beach. And I'm telling you, they are like pressed up against each other. There is not even room to be able to walk between
Yep,
these
they're gonna be-
and it's just really busy in there. We're hoping maybe we can get a
Maybe-
drone shot of that from our producer, bringing us one of those. Continue to watch the finish line here.
Yep, they're going to be trying to get those canoes out of the way so more canoes can come.
Taiwan Outrigger
Oh,
Canoe Club.
Taiwan.
Taiwan
just
Outrigger
crossed.
Canoe Club.
Open men.
Over there in orange.
They made a great presentation.
Here we go. Now you can see, kind of all of you that are watching from home, what that finish line looks like in comparison to the whole wharf area here in Kailua, Kona. That's our big boat right there next to the orange buoy, piloted by Captain Mike Nakachi. And you can see how on the far side over there, I don't know why he's flying away. Come on back, son.
590.
There you go. So you can see all those canoes kind of collecting in that little basin right at the bottom of your screen. That's just after the finish line. Then once they come there, they have to make a procession around and into the harbor on the other side. And you can see
lots of canoes, lots of traffic here. And still canoes coming across the finish line. They have to sort of cross the course of the people who are trying to get around the pier to take their canoe out. Oh, San Diego crew crossing right here. Hoiva'a, San Diego.
Yep. Another crew there, Hoiva'a, San Diego. Give us a moment while we try to get our drone to figure out there he is. Okay, so you can see that's all the festivities there happening right there. We have all the canoes being pulled up onto the dock where the spectator area is. That is a very important heiau right on the edge there. And you can see on the beach to your right, all those canoes that you've seen come across this finish line are now trying to make their way up onto that beach for quick storage to let their crews rest and recover and carry all of these out onto that pier parking area right there. It is a lot of canoes in a very small area, and it's really got to be well coordinated. And after racing for a couple of hours, asking these men to continue to have a little bit of patience.
686.
Again, but we're back to the finish line here. Behind us, Cruise 686, Kaiopua Canoe Club 60 plus, finishing here.
In an unlimited canoe. Another one of those Matahina canoes. So still canoes coming in. We can look down the race course and just see that there's still quite a few canoes coming in.
So you can kind of notice that it's become overcast now from earlier. Although this is still the southwest side of the island, the west side of the island. So we're going to be able to catch a great sunset here shortly. But our cloud cover has reached out Makai. That's kind of what giving us a little bit of a break from that hot sun. Yeah. So again, right now we are continuing to watch the finish line behind us as our crews come in. As we look out towards Ho'onaunau, where the rest of the racers are coming from, there are still,
still pouring in.
Yeah, still pouring in a good 30, 40 canoes easily. We're going to be here for as long as we can, continuing to bring you the action. But maybe, Katie, we can have a little bit of a recap on our top finishing crews, starting with the women's races this morning.
Yeah, so we had sorry. It seems like so long ago that we watched the women's race.
We've been on the water since about 7:30, making this, we're going into 7 hours ourselves. So the women's race was this morning from here, Kailua Kona to Ho'onaunau, with a beautiful fit. I do like that finish a little. The wharf is cool, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And all the people lined up, but man, it is pretty being able to paddle into Ho'onaunau. We had our ladies of Kaihitu in the unlimited division.
Yes.
Actually being able to finish first overall. For the women. And then first in the spec canoe was Kalahui Kai. Kalahui Kai doing great over there. And our third place was second in the unlimited. Third place overall was
the Aloha
Team Unlimited. Aloha Unlimited.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was actually a 50s crew.
40s. The 40s crew, I think.
40s.
Sorry, crew.
40s.
Yep.
40s. Okay. Bringing us into this afternoon's race, which featured the men, and we had a little bit of a turn of events where for the men, all the spec crews were able to finish first, well in front of the unlimited canoes. But for the men, it was Wailea first in not only spec and overall, but in unlimited as well. Second place overall was Team Oceania, and third, Tuitonga from right here in the Big Island of Maui. Second place in the unlimited division was Puna Canoe Club.
And fourth place in the spec boat was Lanikai.
Lanikai, fourth in spec overall. So we can't bring you all of our finishes, but I believe it was third in the unlimited, third or fourth in unlimited, and 50 and over. That was our top finishing age group canoe. 50 and over, Team Hulakai, Koa Kona. They've been doing great. And they're kind of a favorite of ours, know a lot of those guys. But we continue to watch canoes come in. We know we have a lot of paddlers winding down, getting ready to enjoy the afternoon. And the only, you had a great race. You finish.
588.
You have a great celebration after the finish.
Open mix.
Yeah, I'm sorry you guys can't hear us, but there's a team that just finished. I think that might be from Singapore.
Aotearoa.
Oh, Aotearoa. Beautiful. They're singing in the canoe, and it's just beautiful. Really special to see some of the cultural displays that we have with the song and the dance and the different presentations is another special part of this race that because we're over days of racing and just different opportunities, people are expressing their love of paddling, their love of their culture, and just it's wonderful.
Yeah, we continue to have a lot of our mixed crews, a lot of our age group canoes finishing here. I don't know if that's from Aotearoa. Those guys look like they might be from Taiwan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think those are from Taiwan.
Yeah, that crew there we're seeing in orange.
Yeah. They have just been such a wonderful addition to this this race this year, bringing over men and women, but they've also done some really incredible presentations. The
I think that's
international.
That native Taiwan people.
They have they have a club that is all native Taiwanese people. That's one of the groups that came with them. The International Paddlers Night, I guess they gave an incredible presentation. Also during our sort of observance of Maui yesterday at noon, they sang a couple songs that was just really, really touching. And then here they are singing at the end of their race in their canoe. So. Really great, and hope they come back every year.
As our announcer on shore mentioned, we've already had over 150 crews cross this finish line today. That's pretty crazy. Yep. All right. Well, we're going to think about winding down here shortly of our coverage. We gave you that recap of our top finishing crews just a moment ago, but really a race like this with this kind of participation isn't so much about the top finishing crews. I think that's definitely a story, definitely an example of excellence and what everybody is out here aiming for as far as improving themselves or their crew in the sport of paddling. But when you look at the race as a whole, it's all of these crews coming here to share in this sport together, to continue in this tradition, to be out here on the beautiful Kona coast, enjoying the ocean and just the camaraderie and the friendship and what it means to be a member of one of six in a crew, and how that doesn't happen unless everybody is of same mind, same body, same spirit.
Yeah, everybody there together and, paddling like the best of their ability for themselves, but for their crewmates and, paddling as one, as we call it, and enjoying this together because this is not easy to get to a place like this and get a canoe and get your crew and make sure you've got time to practice together and do all this. So, when you're here, you want to enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that you're here and doing this incredible sport together with all these other people from all over the world doing this as well. Just, it's a fantastic experience.
Again, we continue to have crews come across the line in bunches and in solos. There's a couple of crews here coming across. Where's this gang from right here?
Is this a mixed crew?
Yeah, it looks like a mixed crew. Huilokahi oke kai. Huilokahi. Another Kaiopua canoe coming across here.
Yep, this looks
Not
like
sure
an
if that's a
age group.
Kaiopua, but that looks like
no, this is mixed crew.
Yep.
Yep.
A mixed age group.
503.
So there must be 40s.
Yep. Another one of our mainland crews. Outrigger Santa Cruz coming in here. Do we have a headset?
We don't, but
No, I'll check. So right now, joining us on screen here is our good friend Amy Young, and Amy. There now you can shock Amy. We see you now. Amy is a longtime paddler, a good friend to both myself and Katie. And Amy is part of that core group that was able to pull this off. Maybe as I hand my headset over to her, Katie, you can explain kind of more what Amy's role has been. And Amy, please feel free to talk about the race itself, talk about those essential or key people that made, and send your mahalos out there, because especially, to the Big Island of Hawaii. We just got another about a minute or so left to do this, but you're on, Amy.
Yeah, so Amy is a part of Kaiopua Canoe Club, who sponsors and puts on this race. And they've got a core group of people who, she could tell you more about it, but really every year make all of this happen. There's so many logistics, things that are taken care of that are behind the scenes that we don't even know about. Amy, tell us a little more about what you guys do every year.
Oh, I just want to start with the members of our canoe club, Kaiopua Canoe Club, that 50 plus years ago conceived of this race and this time of year and named it in honor of Queen Lili'uokalani. Her birthday is today, September 2nd. So that was a vision that has expanded into 5 days of racing and events. So yeah, there's a lot to do, but it's so exciting when the world of paddling comes here. It's a lot of work, but it's just unbelievable. So yeah, logistically, there's a lot that we do, but we're so grateful that people come to our race.
Anybody in particular, Katie, Amy, you want to thank? You want to mention?
Yes, thank you. We've gotten a lot of support this year from County of Hawaii and Island of Hawaii Visitors Bureau and Hawaii Tourism, and we've got great sponsorship from Texaco and Queen Lili'uokalani and Kamehameha Schools. So, yeah, and great partners. We always love working with Ocean Paddler TV. They make us look really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. I'm looking at our producer here, and that's ready to make this happen. Are we?
Yeah, just keep on talking. I'll let you know.
Okay. So, that's you, Katie.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, Kalei keeps talking, and I'm not sure they can hear him. So, again, Kaiopua Canoe Club, another incredible venue that, another great race you guys have put on, and just people come here and people keep coming back again and again and keep telling their friends to come, because this is really such an awesome place to be, such a beautiful city, such a beautiful island, and such a great race with many different things for people to do, many people to meet, and lots of great food, and just lots of many paddling related things to do, lots of crafts, and it's the whole thing here. It's just really awesome. So as we're finishing up, and there's the drone.
I'm going to borrow this back from you, Amy. And again, a big mahalo out to Amy and your gang and all the folks at Kaiopua who have been continuing to pull this race off. Again, I'm going to go on the record saying that this was the race to be at this year. It was the 50th. We had the cancellation of Molokai Hoi and Navahine, both for men and women. Today was a day in Hawaii to really go out and show what you got and participate in the biggest canoe race of 2023. And as far as Ocean Paddler, we just are so happy to be here and support Kaiopua and the Queen Lili'uokalani race happening here on the Big Island of Hawaii, and to be part of it and continue to make paddling a spectator sport for all of our friends that have chosen to join us today online on our social media pages, whether that's Ocean Paddler or Queen Lili'uokalani Races. Again, big mahalo. Thank you for being patient with us. I want to send a thank you out to Mike Nakachi, our escort boat driver, our crew here at Ocean Paddler. We have several cameramen and audio guys, and our producer, Alex Reinprick, who make this happen. And these are all the behind the scenes, just like at Kaiopua, that make this whole production happen. And for all of you at home that have enjoyed today's coverage, it's these guys that are able to make that happen. Again, what an absolutely fantastic event. This was our second year in a row covering this, and I continue to be sold on this idea that Queen's Race is the one to be at. If you're coming from out of state, lands near and far, internationally, you want to come here. Kona's the place to be, and the Queen's Race is the one to be at. It's absolutely fantastic place to race, and as a paddler, we really enjoy being here. Again, thank you for joining us for this live coverage. Katie, anything from
Boy, you just really said it all there. I don't know what more to add, because I'd be just saying the same thing again, of just like what a great venue this is. And year after year, this was really the best. The 50th anniversary was just incredible. So, thank you, Amy, Kaiopua Canoe Club.
And everybody at Kaiopua. You are our heroes, albeit unsung, but you really are the heroes for all the paddlers here. And on behalf of the hundreds of crews that showed up this year, Katie and Amy, can you imagine that? Hundreds of crews racing today. How fantastic that is. So please, you that have joined us live here for this coverage from our social media on Ocean Paddler, look for us next weekend. We will be in California, helping cover the race between Newport and Catalina for the U.S. National Championships of outrigger canoe racing. That's going to be a 2-day event. Look for us there. We're also going to see you back here on Hawaii Island for the World Sprints. That's going to be a one of a kind occurrence here, and that hasn't happened in several years. And really, Hilo Bay is a fantastic place for that race. So we're continuing to bring you the best in ocean sports and our paddle sports. From everybody here at Ocean Paddler TV, our producer Alex, Katie, Stevens, and of course Amy, thank you so much for hosting us here on the Big Island of Hawaii. We've had the pleasure of bringing you the 50th annual Queen Lili'uokalani Canoe Races from gorgeous Kailua Kona on the Big Island of Hawaii. Mahalo for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and what a great day of racing. And as we say at Ocean Paddler, hoi pa. Come on, girls. You can do it. Ahui ho, everybody. Thank you. Mahalo.
548.